Hello, Dobby Socks. We are now live. We our special guest tonight is Danny, as Drew says Uncle Danny, as I say Danny, and he'll be on soon. So we see where she says watching on TV but can chat on phone. You know, I cannot make no phone calls on my phone at all. I was talking to my sister. We had a drop call, and now I can't make no calls on it.
Oh, wow. Did you
So
try turning it off and back on, like rebooting it?
I did. I did it twice, and then I was doing a upload on it, to redo everything on it, and it was taking way too long. It was already 3:35, and I just stopped it, and I was like, well, I'll just do it again. When
Mine
when
needs it
we're
as
done
well.
for the night, then I'll just uh, do an upgrade. So
We shouldn't be long, guys. Yeah, tonight we're talking to Uncle Danny. A lot of you already know Uncle Danny, which is Danny White Wolf, Chasing Bones Inspectors, Danny Rebuilds. I'm trying to think his other channel.
I had to mute it.
Um,
Sorry.
that's okay. So he should be here just now.
Yeah, that's okay. And that was, I had to turn it on just in case we
We've not
played
tonight. Yeah, I would just be. Yeah, sure. We've no October tonight, guys. I don't think she was ready for the live stream. So she'll be back next week, I dare say. I
Yeah,
don't know
so she
whether to put my
couldn't.
headphones on or not. So you can help me decide. Right,
Yeah,
tell me if this is different, okay? Right. Is it lagging just now? Right, I'll put my headphones on and see if it makes a difference, okay? Right, wait a minute, and we'll put the headphones on. Oh, sugar. Tell me if this helps. If I can get the right. Better having the headphones on.
actually, you weren't
You
lagging
think it's
until
better,
you
sis?
when you weren't lagging at all
Put it
until you
on.
put them on, and then you started going in slow motion.
Right, okay. Okay, I'll put them back off.
Yeah, take them back off and see if it makes a
That
difference.
better?
Okay, let's. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Is it
you're
better
not
again?
you're not lagging.
Not lagging
Kind of.
now. See, that's strange, isn't it? That sometimes it makes you lag and then other times it doesn't. I don't
No,
be
like
sis. I'm missing you. I just cannot seem to get time to get a conversation during the day. It's one thing after another right now. I'm dealing with two schools, Liam's school and Zach's school. So if I'm not at one school, I'm at another school. If I'm not on a phone to one teacher, for phone to another teacher, for Zach.
okay,
Oh,
so
guys,
see
it's just a
now.
bit hectic just now.
So now you're lagging. So I don't think it had anything to do with the headset.
Right. Okay.
But just a little bit. But it was still the same. But in case anybody didn't hear, October won't be
Make sure
able to
everything's
make
off.
it in the live tonight. But hopefully, if she gets a chance, maybe she'll pop in the chat. So we'd like having October in with us every week.
Yeah. I think she just wasn't ready. I think she just forgot,
Yeah.
probably. If you're in the background, sis, it's okay. You're forgiven.
Yeah.
Last night, my head was so sore, and I'm thinking, oh, this is the second time I've cancelled this live. Everybody will be leaving me soon. But my head was just so sore, and my throat's sore today, but it's not, I'm not as coughy. So I think because I'm working with herbs and oils all the time, I think that helps heal you quicker. I've
Yeah.
been
Well.
unknown to William. I've been no massage, but when he's sleeping, he doesn't have a clue I'm doing it. Isn't it? If he's on his back, it's a lot better. I've been doing is holding my clear quartz in this hand, and then with his back, I've been trying to clear all the gunk in his chest, if you like. And over the last 2 or 3 days, that's made a bit of an improvement. But he doesn't know I'm doing it, so you all know, but don't tell him unless he's watching. But it's been a good help to kind of break it up.
Maybe he's upstairs watching.
He's got his son up there just now. They're going to all play darts, so I don't think they're
Oh,
watching. They're just getting the dartboard and things ready.
oh,
I was going
okay.
to go in the living room to do this because I'll be closer to the router there. But it's a thought taking all my mic and everything all through there and setting it all back up. Just check if Uncle Daniel's out, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, that's him seeing it. Well, Woody's seen it in the group. So let me see if Uncle Danny's seen it. We'll just talk until Uncle Danny comes then. He should be along, guys.
Has he responded back? Does he know it's at this time?
He's not responded back, yeah, no. We could just talk about anything just now until he comes then. Do you want to talk a bit about what we'll all be doing with our own live streams? What we're going to do, guys, is once we get the interviews kind out the road, we'll interview Uncle Danny, we've interviewed each other, we'll probably take to maybe interviewing another couple of people, and then we're going to start talking about different subjects. I've actually suggested to Sister Rochelle about talking about star seeds, first of all. Would you hear about that? Maybe even tell us what you think.
Yep.
We've got loads of different subjects, and even if guys want to tell us some subjects that you want to hear. I'm trying to give the link to Thinking of Others. He was wondering where we were. So yeah, we're going to start talking about different things that's to do with strange and unknown, not just witchcraft and things. As you know, Mystical Loving Light is also a paranormal investigator, the same as I am. I do believe Mystical Loving Light. Do you do private cases as well? Do you do private cases as well, Rochelle?
Yeah, actually I do. Before I started putting them on YouTube, which is just very recently, I got a couple of them, 3, 4 on. I used to do a lot of them in the private houses and stuff, but I never thought to videotape them or anything. Only after so many people are like, "Do you have a channel?" And I'm like, "No." And so pretty much I got a channel now, and now it's too cold to go do anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I was saying about other. I like to follow the community as well over in America. So I was saying in my friend's chat, Amber, earlier, that once the weather gets better, my memberships is going on in my channel, guys, and I don't blame you for not signing up for membership right now, because there won't be a lot on there except for maybe daily vlogs and things. But once the weather changes here in Scotland, on my membership, I'm going to start sharing behind the scenes and things with us, different daily vlogs and things. So I do hope, guys, that maybe some of you will take the plunge and be a member. But I honestly don't blame you for not doing it just now. Just wait, content gets a bit better. Probably another 3 or 4 weeks, I think, in Scotland before the weather gets good enough to start going out. What's it like over there just now, Rochelle? Are you still getting snow?
Yeah, we're supposed to get some snow on Saturday, and tonight, going into tomorrow, we're supposed to get a lot of really bad thunderstorms and rain and stuff like that. And so it's still so. I'm not a very good cold person. I don't like the cold. The cold goes through my bones. So, and even all of my team members, they don't like cold.
I'll give you the right one. No, you're better off not going out in the cold if you can. Thinking of Others is going to come in, I think, guys. Thinking of Others is a guy who's been following us for years, my channel, but he's been offline for a few months. So I see that he's back on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite Thinking of Others to come into the room. A lot of people already know who Thinking of Others is, so it'll be great to see him come back, guys. If you all make him welcome, wait and we'll get him up till we find him. He's an amazing guy. Everybody knows him, right? Okay, let me just get the link up for him. So everybody make him welcome when he comes in, because we've not seen him for months, this man.
I have my
thinking of others will come in.
I have my YouTube on my phone, so when he comes in, I can make him blue.
Right, there you go. He's got the link now. I'll tell him that I've just told everybody he's coming.
Okay.
That's okay. Just you can say what you want. I've just told Dobby you're coming. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll talk about all different things. I mean, this channel is much the same as mine's, where you've got a choice between witchcraft, paranormal investigating, and everything. So what we're going to do for star seeds and things, and see, but Sister knows a lot more about it than I do. Of course, I don't know much about star seeds. What you saying, Mystical Sis?
I don't know. I forgot. Oh, I know. Because it was off subject. I was gonna say when you turned your hair looks pretty the way you have it pulled back.
Oh, the way I've got it up.
Yeah.
It's because of my hot flushies. I keep getting hot flushies and then I yep, think it's coming, sis. He's gonna try and get into the room. Yeah, I've got my ponytail on just to try and get it off my neck. It's crazy, honestly. I'll need to try and get back to the doctors, I think. It's so funny, though, because I don't know if any of you watch Bold and Bonkers, but on Bold and Bonkers the other night there, Chris was saying in the chat that a lot of his blood tests seem to go missing at the doctors, and I've got that same problem. I am receiving negative blood as well, and it's strange. Does anybody else find that any time they give blood to their local doctors, it either disappears, you're told at the time that you've gave enough blood, or you're called back down within a day or two to give more blood because you've not gave enough? So it's, to me, that's strange, especially when it's happening to other people in the community. You know, so I have to go back and give more blood.
Maybe they're selling it.
Just double check or not. Maybe, you never know. If anybody can make a wee quick pound these days, go ahead. Just don't be using it for a murder or something and I get the blame.
When I was a lot younger and I did a lot of trail rides. I don't know if you know what trail rides are. We would ride our horses from like Corpus Christi, Texas, all the way to San Antonio, Texas. We would do it in 5 days, okay? So I was very, very young, and we rode the horses the whole way, you know. And in order for me to raise money, I would to go give blood one time because I was needing $25 to pay my dues to go on the trail ride. My mom always said, if you want to go on the trail ride, that's fine, but you're paying your own way. I'm not paying anything, she used to say. So I said, okay. So I said, I'll go give blood. And because they were paying $25 if you gave blood. So I went and they sat me in the chair, you know, and rolled up my sleeve and stuck the needle in there to give blood. And they waited and they waited. And they waited and they waited. And after, like, I don't know, it seemed like a couple of hours or something, sitting in that chair, giving blood, she said, I thank you for coming in, but don't ever come back and give blood again. And I said, why? She said, your blood moves so slow. She said, we could have gotten blood from 5 other people the same time it took to get blood from you. Don't come back. Okay. So I was like, really? My blood moves that slow? She said, yeah, don't come back no more. She gave me a glass of milk and a cookie and said, here, to get your energy back from giving blood. And I was like, well, okay, but I want my $25. So I don't care about the cookie.
Yeah. Yes, $25, please. Give me a
I
cookie to the
never,
homeless man outside.
yeah, I never win again to give blood.
That's strange saying not to come back, though, isn't it? Maybe she could say something to you, like make sure you drink plenty of water before you come so your blood's a bit more flowing or something. Not just don't come back. I've had
Yeah,
enough of your blood.
yeah, she said, don't come back. It takes too long to get your blood. I could have got blood from 5 other people the same time it took to get yours.
Well, I would say, well, that obviously took double time, so I need a double time payment, please. That'll be $50.
Well, one thing
Pay
about
double.
it, if I ever get hurt, I don't have to worry about bleeding to death since my blood flows so slow.
Well, that's good.
I'm wondering if Daddy didn't think that we were supposed to be on at
Yeah, I'm
5.
wondering. Yeah, I'm wondering if he's thinking it's maybe later on.
Because when he was on his live yesterday, when he was singing, at the very end he said that he would be on my channel today. I think somebody asked what time or something. He said, I think 5. And I typed in 4 o'clock, Danny. But then right afterwards he ended the video, and I'm not sure
He's not seen it.
that if he went back and seen it after, he ended the broadcast, I'm not sure if if he saw it or not.
He is active on his channel. He is active on Facebook. The green dot's there, but I don't know if he's around. Wait, I'll just try him again.
Okay,
I don't know
maybe
what I'll
he's
do. I'll
on.
go copy the link and send him the link.
Maybe he's on doing his own video right now. Dobby Sock says, yeah, a bit rude. Yeah. I only needed the $25 and I got it, so I was happy. I never went back to give blood ever again.
Yeah, it was a bit rude saying not to come back. I mean, for all you know, you don't be going back just to get $25 to feed your family or something. I know you were young, but it's not the point.
Yeah.
How dare they tell you,
Yeah.
Uncle, you're lying. God's sake. Wait, I'll send up your live just now. Waiting on your presence. I just hope he's okay.
Yeah, I bet he thought 5 o'clock. Because we always do it at 4.
We usually do it. Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, we always do it at 4 o'clock
it's 7
here.
o'clock at his time.
Yeah, and
it's because
when
I'm on with Uncle Danny. Yeah, we usually try and make it later on because he always says that he kind of does after 7 o'clock in Canada, so I usually make it 12 o'clock my time just so that he's not rushing about at dinner time and things. But he should be here. He'll not be long. If it doesn't pop in, guys, we'll just keep blathering.
Yeah. Well, we can.
What can we talk about?
Oh, hello, JJ Adventures. Let's make sure that. Oh, he's not blue.
You're not blue,
JJ, we're gonna make you blue.
JJ's a girl. JJ's a woman. Well, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Maybe I've got my JJ's mixed up. Am I correct in saying that JJ's Adventures is because your name is either Jen and your man's name begins with a J as well? I think that's why it's JJ's Adventures. I could be wrong. I often am.
Okay, so it popped up, Drew, on when I was putting JJ on. It popped up to check either managing moderator or standard moderator. I've never seen that before.
A standard manager moderators like somebody like me would have up and maybe Rain Rocks, which means that we can kind of do a little bit more than the normal mods.
Well, I wonder what I have you as.
I don't know, sis. I know you can approve users and things because I approved Christine because I can't see her comments and I thought that would work, but it still didn't work that I seen her comments even though I approved her as a user. So I don't understand that either. But try it, it should be fine. Yeah, you're correct. I thought I was JJ, but I didn't want to offend you.
Okay, so Yeah, he's blue. Okay, because when I did yours and all the others, it didn't pop up. It just popped up this time. It didn't pop up before.
It's maybe a new thing. I've never seen that before either. It's maybe new. They often do
Yeah,
add new things.
I
So
don't
we
like
don't
new
really know what to
things.
talk about next week. Who can we interview next week? Because
Well,
we've
I
had,
haven't.
well, if considering that Uncle Danny comes tonight, Lady Grave Dancer.
Yeah, I haven't got to. I need to send her a message probably tomorrow and ask her if she can come on Tuesdays. I know Thursdays is out of the question. You're on
Yeah.
Wednesdays and Thursdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays, but you're on Wednesday with somebody else. So I got to
See, I
find
don't
out if
mind what other. Yeah, I don't mind what day, as long as it's not Wednesday because I'm up with Chris. But any other day, I'm flexible to interview her, to talk to her because and time as well. I don't mind going. I don't mind coming up live with you later. Is my point. Hi,
okay. Yeah.
Panka.
Hello, Panka. Yeah, because she always drives home. She has that long drive after work, so I'll have to
Yeah,
find out from her what time she'd be able, to come on to see.
yeah, definitely. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, because I want
Yeah,
her
I've
to
got a
come on
funny
so we
feeling.
can ask her questions too about her stories, because she's got a lot of stories that she
Mm,
can tell. So
she's
when
a
Danny
lovely
comes
degree.
on,
Dancer.
yeah, when Daddy comes on, it don't matter if he tells one story or 10 stories, whatever he wants to tell. We're here, we're open, we're ready. We're ready,
Yep,
he
we're
ain't
ready.
ready.
There you go. Her
Danny,
name is Jan. Her hubby's name's Jay. That's nice to know that now. Now I know who you are when you come into the room. Welcome in, Jan. And is hubby Jay beside you? Or is hubby Jay out tonight?
who are you talking about, JJ?
JJ's Adventures, yeah. Her name is Jan and her hubby's name is Jay, so it's JJ's Adventures.
Oh,
Remembering how each other's links, guys, as well, and
yeah.
Mystical's chat because she doesn't mind.
No, 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 I don't mind at all because share, share, share. And if you ain't subscribed to me, please subscribe to me too. Make sure you subscribe. I'm sure you're already on Drew's. Everybody's on Drew's. But make sure you're on her other channels too, just not the
I
one.
wish I would have more than 1,000 subscribers.
Well, don't you have like
Hello,
1,300?
Michelle.
Hello, Michelle. Don't you have like 1,300 or something?
No, I've got 1,101. I do believe 1101 is what I've got. Yeah.
Okay, so when it says 1.1, does that mean the point goes in hundreds?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
1.1.
Okay,
Oh, is that
Michelle's
work?
still blue.
Okay. Is that work, hubby?
So, shared
Do you
it out,
want to
Miss. Oh,
talk about
good, good.
something then? Yeah, share it out. Do you want to talk about something then in case Uncle Danny's not making it tonight? Do you want to talk about some of your investigations sis, that you've been on? Most of the people in the chat have heard all mine. Do you want to tell us a bit about some of your investigations that you've done? Maybe some of your home ones?
Um, well, the home ones that I go to is a lot of times it's kind of like the standard. They feel like there's something in the house. They're not sure because I always advertise. Even if you call me, sometimes they may be calling me not because they know for sure they've heard disembodied voices or something. It may be they're hearing a lot of noises, and I tell them that it could also be critters.
Right,
Could be squirrels in the attic or rats in the walls or anything like that. But so
hmm.
far, all the ones that I've done in the past were never critters. Never. It's
Strangely.
always yeah, yeah, it's always, to the point that they kind of know it's more than that, but they don't want to admit it. And it's
Hmm.
just a matter of, because what I tell them is when I come in to do an investigation, I'm coming in to find out what they need to know. I normally would tell them to write down a few things that in the event that it is a spirit, an entity, whatever, that I can ask questions what they want to know. Most of the time it's who is it? Are they related? That kind of thing. So
Yeah.
just a few of them were like really, really bad on what they were seeing, and I think I mentioned to you about that one about the blood puddles
Mm-hmm.
in the house,
See, that would be
and
scary, I think. If you were finding puddles of blood and things around your home, you would be scared in case it was your animal. You'd be scared in case what is manifesting in my home, that it's leaving piles of blood. Because to let you understand, guys, see spirits and things, it takes a lot of energy for them to manifest either an object in their hand or a physical object such as maybe saliva, blood or something. So any idea the energy that it takes for a spirit to do that type of thing. So to me that's really, really scary. The fact that I take it was a normal spirit. Then it wasn't anything bad. It was just a normal spirit. Because
well,
that's
and
scary. The fact that it's leaving blood.
yeah, well, in that case, what happened was is it wasn't just a normal spirit. It was something bad that came through and actually attached itself to their baby. She had 5 kids, and the baby was
Right,
like less than a year old, and it actually attached to the baby because she said
right,
the baby would just cry and cry and cry, wouldn't sleep at night, would cry through the whole night. And so after um, I went in, now see, when I go in and I do a paranormal investigation, I'm not going in to cleanse the house. I'm going
sure.
in to get answers. But
Answer for her.
with this particular one, I went in to cleanse the house. I said I
Right.
didn't have
Mm-hmm.
to, with what was going on, I didn't have to find out if there was a spirit in there. Obviously, there was a spirit in there when you
Yeah,
go, when you find big old puddles of water all over your kitchen floor, there's something going on. And it's not one person
definitely.
seeing it, it was the family seeing it. And then with the
Mm-hmm.
baby crying all night, not being able to sleep. So I went in not to do the investigation, but to do a cleansing. And before I did the cleansing, I had to find out what happened, what caused that spirit to be there so that I could, get rid of it.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if I had mentioned it or not, but what happened is after I went in, um, I cleansed the house normal, and then I started
Yeah.
talking to the children and asking the children questions. Of course, I had permission because they're minors, they're very young. I don't
Yeah.
even know, they were like 8, 9, 10, something like that, really young, real
Mm-hmm.
young. But I had permission, to ask the questions to them. Well, they wouldn't really say anything, like with the mom there. But
Right.
as I was asking questions, I was watching their facial expressions. I could pinpoint like 2 of the kids on the ones I needed to actually uh, concentrate on.
Right.
And come to find out, they were with their friends playing with the Ouija board and stuff like that. They opened it up, playing, not knowing
Right.
what they were doing. Well, what happened was is a spirit came through. Of course,
Right.
they didn't know that, but a spirit came through. Well, during this time of all of this commotion going on, um, what happened was is it attached to the baby because the baby couldn't talk.
Oh,
So the baby couldn't say what was going on.
right.
So I had asked permission if I held the baby, would the baby start crying? And they said yeah, because the baby obviously didn't know me. The baby would start crying.
Want
And
you there
so
to
I
help.
said, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I said, then you hold the baby and I'll do my thing around, the baby.
Yeah.
You know, I made like a holy cloth and
Right.
prayed
Uh-huh.
over it. And I
Right.
gave it to the mom to give to the baby. And I
Right.
said the baby can hold it, can play with it, the baby can chew on it, whatever the baby wants to do, it's not going to hurt it because it was a good size. It's not like she could swallow it.
Right. Uh-huh.
So she did that, and I prayed over them, cleansed the whole entire house. I got permission from the mom, to explain how to close the Ouija board in case they were with their friends.
That's right. I remember you
Again,
saying that
because
last time.
you can't tell a kid to do that because their kids are going to do it. But I
Especially
wanted,
once you start telling their friends that a spirit did come through, the first things their friends going to say is, "Can we do it again?"
yeah, yeah. So I didn't tell them not to do it again. I showed them how to close it.
Sure.
How to be safe around it. And
Yeah.
so I did that, and then, when I finished everything, and then I left, and then the next day, her niece called me up and had told me that the baby slept the whole night, no crying
Right.
at all. And then I checked
Brilliant.
with them again a week after that, and they said everything's fine. They haven't seen anything else again. The baby's still sleeping, because I cleansed, the bed,
Yeah.
everything. And so
That's a
it all
shame.
worked out. But when they would see that blood, they would get so scared. They
They're
would run
wondering.
outside, all of them, and wait outside for hours till they got enough courage to come back inside and see if the blood was gone or not. And after being
That's
outside for
crazy,
hours,
isn't
it
it?
would normally be gone, but then it would happen, again on another
Okay.
day or something. But yeah, um, some of
So
them,
seeing how you
are
the cemetery that you I don't know if it was a cemetery or a what do you call it, the
graveyard.
other places got the mausoleums and things in it. But you
Uh,
want to tell us a bit about what all the cemeteries are like around your area? It's
um,
turned into a wee mini interview for you, sis.
well,
The cemeteries and things, are they calm?
well, I haven't really gone to that many. Most of the time, if I go to cemeteries, it's going to be to collect dirt.
Right.
but I
No
but
ghost
I
hunting.
always yeah
Tina.
but never ever under any circumstances collect anything. Don't get anything from a place you're going to do an investigation at,
No,
because
don't.
they
That'd
will
make a crazy
no
connection, wouldn't it?
yeah
Oh,
because
imagine
they
you did
will
that.
they will connect to whatever you take, and you'll be bringing it home with you.
I know. I was just
Because
thinking that could
see
cause serious problems.
yeah well see because you ask permission to get the dirt, and they give you permission to get the dirt. So
Yeah.
if you take the dirt at the same time you do an investigation, they're going to attach to that dirt or whatever, because
Mm-hmm.
they've given you permission to take it. You've asked permission to take it. So why not? Why not tag
Mm-hmm.
along, you know, and come on in with it? So yeah, if you're doing an investigation out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't care if you find a gold piece somewhere, don't pick it
Don't
up.
take anything.
Don't
I know.
take it if you do an investigation. And you see some
I did
videos that
that,
they're
mate.
doing stuff.
Yeah,
Huh?
I'd made the mistake. I always knew not to take a pebble or anything from anywhere. I've always known it. But I was up at where were we? We were up at the oh my goodness, what was that
Oh,
place
Phoenix
called?
is
Where
in
we eat
here. Hello,
Maggie's
Phoenix.
from? Yeah, Phoenix is
Yeah.
in. The place where we Maggie's from, I can't remember right now. It will come to me. And we were just walking around and doing things, and our Liam was younger, and he picked up these two pebbles, and I just stuck them in my pocket, not thinking at all. And then I got home, and things started to go strange in the house. Um, we different things. Things were going missing. I was going live, and there was like no angry spirits, but spirits that were just saying things that you didn't know why they were saying it. I was doing my private sessions, and they were saying crazy things. And it wasn't until we were live one day, and Chris said to us, "Did you take anything for Glenn Buck?" And I said, "No." And then I says, "Aye, in fact, I took the two wee pebbles that Liam gave me to put in my pocket." And then instantly we knew that's what it was. That I took two pebbles.
Did you take it
So,
back?
yeah, we took them back. I just did not understand why. And then I clicked. That's right, Liam did give me two wee pebbles, and I put them in my pocket. And then
Yep.
for that day onwards, everything was fine again. Once I took them back, it was
Yep.
fine.
So up here up on top, JJ Adventure says, we had a spirit touching one of the ornaments on our Christmas tree. Only the ornament would move, none of the others. Another
Brilliant.
reason and then she says, another reason young people shouldn't use a Ouija boards if they don't know how to do it properly. And it's not even just young people; it's older
Mm-hmm.
people because they get curious
And it's
and they
also
want
not
to
the
use it.
boards.
Yeah,
People
no, it's not
people that
nothing to
make
do with the
up the
board.
gone ones. Yep.
It's just the
I
tool.
mean, people think because it's a bit of paper or something and it's got yes, no on it in the alphabet that it's not. It's okay, just rip it up. You've got, if you're going to use that or you've made it with the purpose of using it for a spiritual tool, whether it's a piece of paper, whether it's a toothpick, whatever it is, you have to treat it just as a normal Ouija board or a spirit box or something. If you've created that object to make it communicate with spirits or whoever, you've got to treat it just as bad, just as equal as a spirit board or something, and do your cleansing and say your goodbye and things. Because you have made it to communicate with spirits, even if you don't think you communicated with the spirits, you've got to shut it down and say, right, goodbye, and have the intent in you that that is everything stopped. Don't ever think, oh, well, I didn't get any communication. Just don't bother closing it down. Do it anyway. you know,
Yeah,
say
yeah, because it's a
goodbye.
tool. It's a tool. That's all it
Yeah.
is a tool. So you treat
Yep.
it with the proper respect. JJ says,
Respect.
why would you collect dirt? And then she put
Long
on here,
story.
I'm still trying to understand what you
Depends on what
do.
kind. Depends on what kind. Bank dirt is really good for manifesting money. Graveyard dirt is good for ending things. What else, sis?
Well, we're actually graveyard dirt, that's true, but you can also use graveyard. In case you don't know, JJ, I collect dirts for workings. Um, you can use, okay, say for example, you want to do a prayer for someone's, say their spouse, maybe their dad is in the military, maybe you're worried about their safety, maybe you want to have an extra protection. Well, you can go to the cemetery if you know of a soldier that had been buried there. You can
Ooh,
go and ask that soldier if you can get permission to have their dirt so that you can use that in the protection because that soldier has already
hi
oh, hey,
Meg.
Mag, because that soldier has already gone through a lot. That soldier has, they know the
Mhm.
ropes, the ins and outs, and you ask for their if they will also step in and protect your loved one. So you're using that
Mhm.
dirt in that, protect. Same way for a police officer. If you want protection for a police officer, you would do the same thing. If you know of a grave site that has, um, a police officer that was killed in action or something, you can also
Uh-huh.
do that. You ask permission to, to gather
It's much like the
some of their
bricks I
dirt.
was telling you about in my channel, guys. It's just the exact same concept as using the brick dust. And then it's the exact same
Hmm.
concept as using the brick dust is to use your herbs, is to use your wood and your wood for your trees and things. It's everything that object can use it to manifest, to dissolve, or it's everything that you use and our practice is really is what you want it to do. If you for example get a brick, I want a brick from the oldest house in Les Mahego, and that's to put structure into my spell work. Anytime I'll add that brickwork to any of my the brick dust, sorry, to any of my workings, it means it gives it a bit of structure and a bit of stableness and things, and a lot more. It depends on what building you get the brick from, but it's actually just the exact same as your dirt and things. It depends on where you get it from each grave. I was just always told
Yeah,
not to take it unless it was a relative, but that's good to ask.
yeah,
We'll do
yeah.
that
You
maybe
can
next
you
time.
Yeah, you can ask, how I do it when I ask. Well, first of all, before when I walk in, if there's a gate there and there's a gatekeeper, I always take an offering. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a penny. It could be. I like taking sunflower seeds or nuts, and
Right.
that way I can scatter them around as an offering. So when the birds and everything comes in, they can enjoy it because there's spirits there.
Mm,
They can enjoy it. So I do
right.
it that way. But I always ask if I can have permission. I explain to them, you
What
know,
you'll be using
I'm
it
gonna
for.
use it. Yeah, I'm gonna use it for, such and such working. And if it's okay, let me continue to have a good feeling, good energy.
Right.
But if it's
Mhm.
not okay, then they can send some energy that will make me nauseated or sick or just kind of like, yucky. And then I'll know that they're not okay with it. And,
Often you get the answer in your head.
I've noticed that when I've been picking up branches, etc. Well, usually it's little sticks to make wands out of. But I've noticed that usually if you go to pick it up and you say in your head, "Am I allowed to have this?" You usually instantly get the answer in your head. Well, that happens with me. I don't know about anybody else, but 9 out of 10 times you get the answer straight away, guys, whether you have to take it or not. To be honest, does it work the
yeah,
same with you? You usually
yeah,
get the answer. Hmm.
yeah. JJ Adventure says, so I could get dirt from my uncle's grave with permission to help protect my cousin and his wife in the service. That's exactly right. Explain to them what you want it for. Explain to see, because everything has energy. Everything has energy. That dirt contains energy from the person that is there. The dirt has the energy by itself, but the
Right.
person that was laid to rest can also come in and also assist in your working to help with whatever you were asking for.
Ah, it's definitely you handy, Meg. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I mean, think about it as well. If your family or something's no well in your local cemetery, or even to your local doctor's surgery or something, and ask there if you can take some of the dirt. And then when you go
Mm-hmm.
home, light a candle and roll it in the dirt that you've took from that health facility or a doctor's grave, as long as he lets you take it, especially if it's a
Right.
good doctor. And
Yes.
ask. Yeah, and then do your spell work with that instead of oil or steady whatever, or even just sprinkle it around your candle and things, or put it in your jar, because the power coming off of that is just as equal as using an oil or something, maybe even more, because it's coming straight for source.
Right.
Yeah.
And also too, don't go to a cemetery or gravesite and get dirt from like a bomber or somebody
Oh,
mean.
yeah.
You
Careful.
don't want to do that. You don't want,
A
even
serial
if you were
killer.
going to do it for a bad working, don't do it. You're going to be in for more trouble
Oh,
than
don't.
it is worth. Don't do that. Don't get
Just
it from
remember, everything you
someone
do
that
comes
was
back on you in
mean.
one way.
Yeah. Yeah, if you had a
Oh,
relative
imagine
that
that.
was just mean and abusive, if your relative was a drunk or a drug head, an addict, don't go asking them for their dirt. Don't go asking them
No,
for
don't.
anything because you don't want them in your bubble and your circle to begin with. Just keep
You
them
don't
out. I
want
don't
to
care if
know
they
them
are your
exes.
relative.
Hot flush time, guys. Need to fan.
Yeah, you need a fan
The joys. The joys of
blowing
being 50.
blowing on you.
Yeah.
And then, it's the same thing when you're asking, when you're getting water, when you're getting water from an ocean or whatever. Ask the water guides if it's okay to take the water. You always ask. If you're getting, say, um, wood or something from a tree, you you always say thank you to them, and if you have something to
Yeah.
leave it. In the summertime, I normally have me a bottle of water or something because it's always hot. And if I take something like bark chips or something, I don't take it directly off the tree. I'll gather up what's on the ground. If there's branches on the ground, if there's bark on the ground, if there's a branch with the leaves on the ground, I'll take that. But I always tell them thank you. And if I have a bottle of water, I'll always pour some of the water on the tree as an offering just to say thank you.
I must admit, I'm really bad at remembering to give offerings. I'll have to start taking some money with me or something, just some loose change or extra herbs or something to give offerings. See, I always, because I can't see the spirits, guys, I always forget that there's a gatekeeper and things in cemeteries. So maybe if I started to give like an offering when we walk into these places, maybe we'll get better communication. It'll be something to do as an experiment if you think about it. See if we can get better communication with giving offerings and things. I've done it a few times, but not as often as I should, to be honest.
Yeah, even if you have a bottle of water, open up the water and sit it there and tell them this is an offering. Now, if it's in a plastic container, tell them you're leaving it there as an offering, but when you get ready to leave, you're going to have to take the bottle with you so that you don't leave, trash or garbage
Right,
or whatever,
trash.
there that's bad for,
Yeah.
the planet,
Mm-hmm.
that's bad for the animals and stuff, so you want to take it, but you can always pour the water, like if there's flowers or something right there in the cemetery, you can use the water and
Right.
pour it, give it to
If
them when
not,
you when you take the bottle. If you
so why
take
do you think
something,
the gatekeepers are there then? Do you think the gatekeepers are there for the spirit's sake? Or do you think they're there for our sake, the visitors? Do you think the gatekeepers?
no, I think they're there for the spirits that's there overlooking everything, making sure everything is
Right.
kosher, you know. But yeah, anything
Mm-hmm.
that you offer, because it's come from you, it's come from your heart, giving an offer. It's not about what the offer is; it's the fact that you offered, to give an
The
offer,
intent of it.
you know, to to leave it there. But I
That's it.
love I love taking like sunflower seeds, stuff like that, because I can sprinkle them, all around, in like a certain
Yeah.
area or whatever, and
We got, what did we get? One of my witchy boxes that I got, you probably, if you've ever watched the witchy reveals, we got this little box and it's got, I don't even remember what they called it, but it's like 4 or 5 little seeds in it, but they're so compact into like a kind of compost type of thing, if you like. And you're meant
yeah,
to, when you go places, throw them into the woods. It's to help keep the woods, keep trees growing. So basically, you're meant to, everywhere you go, take maybe one with you, two with you, and throw them into the local wilderness, and it helps keep
yeah,
wherever you want the trees to grow to grow. So maybe I should take some to the cemetery and grow them there. That'd be
yeah,
interesting. Give
yeah,
them, give the spirits them
and
basically. I'll give the cemetery guardians it.
yeah, and also too, like when I get the dirt, um, because I sell dirt because I consecrate the dirt and I do prayers over. It's not like I just collect the dirt and sell it. No, I consecrate the dirt. I do
Yeah,
blessings
of course.
over it.
Mhm.
All of this. I have like a whole ritual that I do with the dirt. When I bring it home, and I
Aye.
do all of that. But and what I do with the dirt is like when I sell it, I'll put it in the mortar pestle, and if there's any big chunks of dirt, I'll break it up and stuff. But if
Yeah,
you
break it down.
can, if you get little like you're never gonna get all the little pebbles and stuff out. But if there's any roots, any small roots, leave it in it because those roots will help root your working. It will help
Right, okay.
root. It will help take root into the working. So it's
Mhm.
all into like thinking outside the
Yeah.
box
The
on
box.
different
Because
ways.
remember,
Yeah.
did you watch the video? Did you watch the video that Lady Gravedancer had done? And it's about adding birdseed to your spell work so that
Oh,
when you're out,
yeah.
it spread. That's crazy. Why
Yeah.
don't you explain a bit
Yep.
about that?
Yeah. I have never ever talked to anybody that used birdseed, you
Right.
know, like that, and for
It's a good
protection and put
concept to
around
think
the
about it.
property. Yeah. Yeah, but a good
Yeah.
thing for people, like if anybody's listening, they're not familiar with how workings are, how to do them, and I'm telling you, think out the box. This is what you want to do. You want to um, imagine a flower. Okay, and then you think in your head, how can I use this in a working? Okay, what does the flower do? What kind of flower is it? What color is the flower? Does the flower attract bees? So you can use it for an attracting working to attract maybe the loved one. Maybe you want to use it to attract money, maybe attract a job. You know, say
You
like
can
an
use
A.
anything in spell work.
That's right.
I mean, think about it. This pestle I've got sitting here, I could use this in spell work or workings, as a lot of people, as sister likes to call them. I could use this alone in spell work, and it could be used with my intent put into it to crush something. Like I want to crush that habit. I want to crush that idea that keeps popping into my head. This could be used for that, because you use this to crush things. This could be used in a working because it's got the intent of crushing something in it. So
Right.
you're halfway there with it. You just need to program it to learn to crush your ideas in your head, to crush something that keeps popping up in your life, or crush somebody that keeps popping up, you know. So you can use anything. It's all to do with using your imagination of why you can use that object.
That is right. If you have an imagination, it will take you many, many places, because if your imagination can think about it, your intent can make it happen. Yep.
Exactly. And it's amazing. I love doing it. Do you know something? I could sit and, even if I wasn't to do the spell, I could sit and do spell work every day, just using my imagination, writing spells down and writing them down. Because once you start going down the rabbit hole of how you can use something, especially if you've got it handy around your house and you need it for something, put a plan in place for things that you've got around your home, such as that. I now know I can use that in spell work. A wooden spoon, for example, is really good as well to have, because a wooden spoon, you can use it to mix things. You've got the intent of stirring up your life. Loads of things, guys. It just takes, as sister says, a bit of imagination, and you can use it for anything. Anything can be used for anything.
If you can think about it, you can make it happen with a certain item, because every item has so many multiple uses, because like we were saying earlier, every item has energy. So you incorporate that energy to use it how you need to work it.
Exactly.
JJ says, would love to talk to you. Would love to talk with you two separately for a chat. I have so many questions. You know, my thing is you can ask all the questions you want to here. The reason, and it doesn't matter what questions, you can ask questions, because if you have a question, somebody else may also be thinking the same thing and not want to ask it. So if you ask it, you know, that's fine. You can ask it, and everybody else can also, you know, learn from it. So
Definitely, ask anything you want, guys. Even if we're not talking about that subject and a question pops into your head, just ask us.
yeah,
I mean,
because half
sister
the time,
and I are not, we're not going to be like, okay, I'm going to leave that for another day. We're not talking about ghost hunting tonight. We'll always answer your questions if you ask us.
Yeah, because half the time I don't know what to talk about anyway.
As of now, perfect timing right now.
Yeah, because Danny's not here yet, and I'm pretty sure he thought it was at 5.
I think Uncle Daniel will be eating his dinner. That's the truth. He'll be eating his bloody dinner. Lucky man, I'm starving.
Yeah, so if you have questions, just ask it. I mean, it's that simple.
What can the ashes put in a tree or bush or put in the ocean? I don't know if that was maybe a follow-up to another question. Was it, Meg?
No, I don't think so. Okay, my deal is, and then I'll let Drew answer too. But okay, what about being cremated and the ashes put under a tree or bush or put in the ocean? Okay, two things. First of all, it's whatever that person wanted you to do with the ashes prior to them passing and being cremated, because you have to, if they trust you enough to have their ashes, then hopefully you will know that person well enough to know what they want you to do with the ashes. Maybe they just want you to keep them
Yeah.
up on a mantle forever so that they can be there with a family and get together and friends and stuff. Second of all, I couldn't answer the next question or put in the ocean because so many states have their own rules on cremated ashes.
Right.
Some will say it's okay. Some will say it's illegal. It's against the law to do that. So,
Right.
that's something that you would have
Heard that
to,
before.
yeah, you would have to find out what that person, your loved one, wanted you to do with the ashes. And if they wanted to be put in the ocean, you would have to find out, okay, what ocean, and check with the area that you're going to want to release them. Check with what the cremation laws are on releasing ashes. They may say, no, it's against the law. Or they may say you have to go out 25 miles out into the ocean before you release them. Every place is different.
I
So,
didn't realise that they would have a problem. As far as I know, there's no rules like that in Britain. As far as I know, I mean, there could be, and I just don't know about them. But as far as I know, you're allowed to sprinkle the ashes in the sea and things.
yeah, maybe because you
It's
may have to
strange
have
that
documentation that, yeah, maybe you have to have documentation that you have, the legal right to even have those ashes. So I wouldn't even venture to answer that one. I would just say check with the authorities on what they want and what your loved one wanted you to do.
just to keep yourself sure. I mean, if your loved one, for example, tells you that they want cremated and their ashes scattered in the local river, if you don't do it, that spirit could possibly be arrested as well. So try your hardest to stick to anybody's decisions that when they die. Because I do believe if I wanted to be cremated and I got buried, for example, I don't think I'm happy.
Yeah, yeah.
Cremated.
So that's kind of an issue that would have to be like a one-on-one with you and the persons of whose ashes those actually belong
Yeah, make
to.
sure you know
'Cause,
these things.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Being put back to nature. What are your thoughts? Like I say again, that would be up to you and them on what they want. I have 2 sets of ashes on my
Nice
fireplace mantle. I have my late husband's. He
Hey.
always said he wanted me to keep them close. Be with me. He didn't want to be put someplace that would be everybody would forget about him. Like in a regular cemetery or whatever. He always
See, I'm
said,
not thought.
bury me there and then you move and then nobody ever goes and visit. So he's like, if you have my ashes on the fireplace mantle, then you have to take me from spot to spot. So I have his. And then when my brother passed, yeah, and when my brother passed and I have
okay.
his ashes up there, I told Lee, you better not die because then I'll have 3 things of ashes up there.
You'll have 3 guardians looking after you.
3 men in your life looking after you.
That's be good. Yeah, I think like that thinking. I'm along that thinking too that I would rather be here like then if you ever move or something, I go with you instead of the local cemetery ever to be visited again.
Yeah, because
So
see,
yeah, I
like
definitely want cremated.
my father, he's buried here in Tennessee, way up on a mountain that we call Johnson Mountain. Buried way up there. You can't even hardly get to it. The road is so bad. I don't even know if I
Right.
can even find it if I attempted to. And then my mother, she's buried in Texas, and I don't ever get to see her. So it's going to be up to the individual what they tell you to do with the ashes. So for everybody, if your loved ones isn't
It's not
passed and
that.
they
You
want to
can
be
do so
cremated,
much.
ask them. Huh?
There's so much things they can do these days. My friend got a little diamond made. Yeah, I do believe it was her dad's ashes. She got a little diamond made. And there's other people in Kerry. She's got a little locket. Got some of Billy's ashes inside it. And there's also one for Zach for when he gets a bit older and things. So there's so much you can do with ashes these days. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So JJ says,
JJ says, I have previous pets. Sorry, on you go, sis. That's okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I was backing up way up there to see what she said.
Oh, that's okay.
It says, I've
JJ
been
had said
told.
I have previous.
Go for it. It's all yours.
Right, you go. You finish off, and then I'll
No,
say
you
that
go
the
ahead and
last one. Okay,
you,
so
you go ahead and
you go.
you go ahead and go. You go ahead and go.
Okay, right. Okay. JJ says, which is Jan. I have previous pets' ashes and have told my daughters they need to be put in the casket when I die. I do see these pets in my home. That's interesting, Jan. See, I would love that. That's a great idea. Bring the pets with me, die.
Yeah.
I love that.
And see, that's a good thing
There you
that
go,
she
Seth.
said
That's your
that.
turn now.
If a family member tells you they want to be cremated, ask them, what do you want me to do with your ashes after you're cremated? You know.
I know
And then,
my mum wants cremated, Dad wants buried.
And my dad always said that if he dies before my mum, then what they're going to do? Because married and she'll be cremated, so they're going to be separated. But the way I see it is, if my mum goes first, we cremate her, and then my dad gets buried, we put her ashes in beside my dad. So it's going to be a battle to the wills who dies first.
yeah,
My parents have
exactly.
got to argue even in death about death. Sorry, on you go, Gina. On you go, sis.
Lee's probably going to wonder if I go first what he's supposed to do with Jack's ashes and with my brother Rex's ashes. He's probably going to be wondering
You
about
better
that.
leave instructions.
Yeah,
Yeah. Better leave instructions.
yeah. So I'll be like, okay, so if I go
That's our
first,
Jackie.
if we both go at the same time, we need to tell the kids, just get all of our ashes together, combine them, and put them in one
Throws.
thing, and then go from there, whatever we need to do with them. Just combine us all in a group. We'll just have a big old party.
Just throws in together. We'll have a party for eternity. It's a good job Lee is a nice man and doesn't mind about your first husband then, isn't it? Or
Yeah.
the good few arguments.
Yeah, well, he's really, really good. Yeah, because he always said that he knows that if my late husband Jack, he always says, I know if Jack didn't die that we wouldn't be together. So he knows that, because we had a good happy marriage and everything. So he understands that. And I was married for 34 years. So when I got together with Lee, I would accidentally, the name Jack would fly out of my mouth when I was like talking to him. He never once got mad at me because he understands that it was a habit. It's not that I think he's him. It's because it was just a habit and, flew out of my mouth. I suppose I've been, as long as I, don't say it in the inappropriate times, I'm sure it's okay.
That's that, isn't it? Timing
That
is
hasn't
that
happened.
one.
Yeah, no, they're completely separate. Okay, so JJ says, do I sound like I'm yelling?
No, you're fine.
No,
sister.
okay.
Honestly, you're
Okay,
fine.
JJ says, I've been told from a renowned psychic, and also I feel that I'm a medium. What do you suggest I do to improve myself? So, and then down here is this kind of a addition to it, I think, because she says, I've been told by a renowned psychic that I'm a medium. I also feel the spirits in a place when I go. How can I prove my skills? Talk to them like if they're there as a person, because they're still a person, even though it's their spirit. They're still a person. They're still a human being. So talk to them.
They could be confused.
Yeah, if you see them, chances are they see you. Talk to them. Ask them, hey, I see you. If you're good, you want to talk to them. Talk to them, and just see what they want. See, if you can help them in any way. Now, I don't suggest you carry a conversation with someone evil, because they're probably going to lie to you anyway, because evil
Just
entities will do that. They trick you. Yeah, Yeah,
Yeah.
because they will try to trick you. Especially if you
Yeah.
run
Yeah.
across kids. A lot of times they're not kids.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I've heard that, especially little kids, little girls. I've heard with ponytails and buttons are usually not what they seem, and that's just
yeah,
common for some reason with twisted souls and things. They always pick a little girl spirit
yeah.
or a little boy, depending who.
Because they know that you are more open to that. So
Uh-huh. Your
they do
softer
that
side.
to work. Yeah, they do that to work on your emotions. They know you're not going to give up on a
What's
kid
the
until you
worst
figure
thing you've
out.
What's the worst thing you've came across? The worst thing I've came across is that twisted man. He's not even a twisted soul. He's just a twisted man in life. That was the worst thing I think I've came across. Even the witch that I ran into up at Lovers Lane, I'm going to see what the activity is like up there now. But even up there, when I was getting attacked with the witch, it didn't feel as bad as getting attacked by that twisted soul who was William's stepdad, if you like. So that's the worst thing I've came across. What about you, sister? Have you came across anything worse than that?
Um, Actually, to be honest with you, I come across more bad live people than any spirit
Yeah, true.
that I've come
Me too.
across. Um,
I know. Sad.
because the spirits you know to look out
I'm
for,
going to
and
go
you
back this week.
know.
Do you know what I could do? I could go up Lover's Lane and I could go live. And because it's a witch's territory, if you like, up there, and she didn't like me going up, and I did take an offering and say sorry, basically. What I could do is when I go back this week, or maybe if the weather stays good, I will go this week, and I could go live and I introduce her to my community, if you like, all you guys, and say to her, look, as a witch of this century, I would like to invite you in to meet some of my witchy sisters and things, and maybe then she'll let me ghost hunt there all the time. Be
Do you
interested to
know
see how far we can push it.
that video that you did? The first video on there was the first video I watched of you. That was the very first
The
video
one
I
of the
watched with you
witches,
on it. Yes.
right?
And
The
I said,
getting
"Oh,
attacked
she
with.
done." I said, "Oh, she done pissed her off."
I didn't even know there was a witch up there. It wasn't until I had heard it in the spirit box, and then Uncle Danny told me after. I says, "What attacked me?" And he said it was a witch. And I was like, "Wow!" I says, "I didn't know." So I took back what I had done was not all the time, but a lot of the time when I've got a pillar candle on and it goes down to about that size, a lot of the time I'll mould it into like a love heart or something and I'll leave it on my altar for Santa Marta. So I asked Santa Marta if I could take it. I said, can I take this Santa Marta to give as an offering to the witch that attacked me? And instantly I knew it was okay. So what I done was I took her the melted candle shaped into a love heart. I took her a bit of rose quartz as well, I do believe. I can't remember what else. A bit of rosemary, I think. Can't remember. It's on my channel. And I took it
Yeah.
back and I just apologised. Look, I didn't know you were here. I apologise if I stepped in your territory. I'm a witch and I'm willing to do what I have to do basically to be able to ghost hunt up here. So I'll be interested to see if she's forgave me, to be honest, because I've not been back if I took the offering up. But
Yeah, I
did you
bet
hear
you.
it? Did you hear timber turning up? It says in the spirit box, the spirit box says timber is here. And then I say, oh no, timber's here, what's wrong? Because instantly when timber turns up and these full spirits see him, usually you know something's bad's
Yeah.
coming. you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first one I watched. Megan, Meg, not Meg. Meg says, "Sorry, I got you both off topic."
Right.
Actually, you didn't get us off topic. We're just talking
That's
about
okay.
anything and everything. Whatever you want to throw out there,
Anything.
whatever question, we'll answer to the best of our
These are
knowledge.
usually the best streams. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
usually the best
because
ones where
people,
you've not really got a
yeah,
plan.
that's what I say. If you have a question, ask it because somebody else is going to want to know the answer anyway. Just some people won't ask because they're shy or they're embarrassed. It doesn't matter on this
Definitely,
channel. It doesn't matter.
Dobby.
Yeah, ask anything you
Guys,
want to
guys
ask.
understand. We try and be professional because it's YouTube and things, and we do want people to go and see in the future. So we try and stay reasonably professional, especially in my streams. It's quite quite quick. So when you're watching it back, a lot of the time you'll see that the ones that don't go to plan are usually the best streams for some
Yeah.
reason. But they're always
Yeah,
entertaining.
exactly. Yeah, but going back to asking the worst ones.
It's okay, Dobby.
When I see the spirits, I don't see them as being bad just yet, because a lot of times I wonder, are they alien? Are they actually aliens? Because I think a lot of like shadow figures and stuff, I think are actually aliens, and I have to like not get scared and try to figure out what they are. And just because if they are aliens, that don't mean they're bad. Just because it's a shadow figure doesn't mean that they're bad. I'm more when I go out.
Maybe Sherry can help you with that. See, I don't think you've really met Sherry yet because she's took a bit of a break. But once Sherry starts coming back onto YouTube and back onto the channel and things, maybe ask her to find out the difference between them, because Sherry's as well. So maybe she can give you some tips to see how you can tell the different energies or something,
Yeah. But I've never seen one that I'm like that I run
When
from.
I first
Not yet. Not yet. I haven't run from one yet. But that don't mean I won't.
Well, see, Dakota, when the guys on Bold and Bonkers started talking about the aliens and things, at that time I was seeing Shadow Man in my park outside, and at that time Dakota was also sensing an alien around me, and the alien that was around one of the aliens that was an enemy of the aliens that's around Dakota and Chris. So that caused a few turmoil extremes with us. What was happening was the aliens were putting me in an angry mood. So the angry mood that I was going in when I was getting into their streams, because these other aliens were they
Oh,
argue. So we ended up all falling out at one.
Yeah. Drew's froze. Yep. Hey Drew, who's in here? Are you froze? Yep, he's here. What time is it? Is it 5 o'clock? Yeah, he thought it was 5 o'clock.
yeah, I thought it was 5.
I told her that. When you did your video yesterday on the music, the singing, on the very end when you said, I think it's 5 o'clock, I typed in 4 o'clock, Danny, but then you ended it right after that, and I said, I bet he didn't get to see that.
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, well, everybody, you know Danny and his channels. If you're not subscribed, everybody in here is. So, Danny, what we wanted to do today was have you talk about like sharing your personal experiences about the strange and unknown, whatever you want to share, what you've seen, whether it's aliens or vampires or werewolves or spirits or whatever. You can talk for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I don't care. It's up to you and Drew how long y'all want to stay here. So I'm excited to have you on. Yay! Danny's here.
Thank you. Okay, well, first of all, I'm on my phone because the internet company messed up my bill, so I don't have any internet on my computer.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm walking around with my telephone.
Okay.
And I can't see chat or nothing, so you'll have to tell me if someone says something.
Okay, what we'll do, everybody in the chat, is we'll let him tell his story. Yeah, we'll let him tell his stories, and then afterwards we'll like open up for discussions or questions, and then that way we can read the questions to him. How's that?
Christina.
That sounds okay.
All right. Hello, Christina.
Oh, definitely. And Toby's in.
Yeah. So,
Christina says, don't tell Drew and Danny that they can talk for as long as they want. They'll still be there tomorrow.
Hey, that's fine. I'll be up all night long. I know.
oh,
Just remember, I'm 5 hours in front.
I got some new earplugs I'm trying to open up.
Why? So you can't hear me? You gonna put earplugs in?
No, you know the plugs for listening.
Oh, okay. I thought they were plugged so you couldn't hear my voice.
Right. Earphone.
No, so I can hear better because
Okie dokie.
look at that. They're blue.
Are you blue?
Yeah, we
Oh,
weren't going
you
to
know
do it
what?
as an interview. I thought we were doing an interview, but we'll do it as creepy stories and things because a lot of them in mystical channels not heard all your creepy stories and things that you've told everybody.
And
Earbuds, Christina, yeah.
Yeah, make Christina blue.
Okay, now let's see if I can
Brilliant.
find out. Think maybe here. Nope. Here. Okay, try that.
Try what?
Can't hear
You
it.
hear us okay?
Oh, there we go. I can hear you now.
There you go. Go.
Oh. Okay,
Look at that.
cool.
Brilliant.
Yeah, my phone is brand new, so I'm not used to anything on this phone. I don't know how it works. Because my computer's gone, so yeah, I'm having a heck
That's
of a day.
always fun.
You know,
It's fun
I'm
figuring
not
it
very.
out.
Yeah, I just gotta figure this stuff out, and I'll be all right.
Okay. You're welcome, Christina.
So, what would you like to know about? It's
Well,
easier
I
if
don't
you
know.
ask me, Squish.
I don't know, but I don't. Well, hold on, because I don't know what I did to this thing. Hold on. I'm
It'll
trying
be
to
the
see which one
where
works.
that's
Yeah, right
three.
there. Okay, yeah. Well,
Let's use
we
that one.
want you just to tell stories of like experiences that you've had. Maybe you went on an investigation and you seen stuff. Maybe you were out in the woods and seen Bigfoot. You know, he laughs. Just whatever stories you want to share. Drew, your eyes went.
Well, let's see.
Remember, you're the pro at YouTube. I'm not.
Well, you know, over the years, you know, I've seen lots and lots of stuff over the years, all kinds of different things. A lot of in-betweens and stuff, you know, like the Woodagoos and like all these different types of demons and stuff.
Tell us all about them.
Well, one thing is a toka. I don't know if that's how you guys say it, but basically, let's look at the Goat Man from the Goat Man's Bridge, for instance. Now, if you search through the records and you search through all the data and stuff, there's really not too much information about it, right? So, but spirits, if you get enough people believing in something, okay, it creates an energy, okay, that, for instance, like the Goat Man, so many people believe in the Goat Man that some people are of the opinion if there's enough intention and enough people believe something, it becomes a reality, right? But it's been my experience that's not quite how it works. Usually it's a bad spirit. Now it could be a bad human spirit, it could be something worse, like it could be a really nasty human spirit, or it could be demonic, or it could be any type of spirit. But let's say you're a nasty spirit.
Okay.
And you want to cause grief and harm and bother people and stuff like that. Well, it's been my experience for instance, for the goat man, and I'm just using that for, I'm not saying this is the case with the goat man. I'm just using the goat man as an example because so many people have heard of the goat man, right?
That's real big in the Hispanic.
Yeah. So many people believe it. So if you're a nasty spirit, okay, and you're going to haunt that area, why would you not take the form of the goat man? Because so many people already are afraid of it, and so many people have claims to it, and so many people, it's got so much energy already because so many people believe in it. So a nasty spirit comes along to an area where they believe there's a certain creature there. Well, an evil spirit is going to say, hey, there's a good costume I can wear, right? So that spirit will become the goat man, right? Because why not? It's already got millions of people afraid of it. It's already got all this energy that it's been gift wrapped. So to a dark spirit, they're going to say, hey, yeah, I'm going to play this part, right? And then the legends become even more scary and more real because now there's actually something driving that goat man, right?
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So in my experience, there's a lot of cases where people say, well, there's no such thing just because so many people believed in it, they created it. No, that's only half of it, right? Yes, people create the legends, people create the creatures, but an evil spirit sitting there looking at it going, hey, someone gift wrap this for me, right? I can take this form and just take over the legend and become the goat man and cause a hell of a lot more chaos and make a lot more legends and even get more scary and get more powerful, right? So I think a lot of times for different, in different situations, that's what happens, So,
I actually seen the goat man before.
yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like the goat man. I honestly believe there's lots of goat men. There's goat man on the goat man's bridge. There's goat man, which is basically world known as a bad spirit or an evil spirit, right? So any demonic spirit or any real evil human spirit, they're going to take that form because you're already afraid of it, and it's already got a life of its own. So when it combines its energy and mixes with that energy, it becomes 10 times more stronger than it was in the first place, right? Because it's already got all that energy and all that intent and all that infusion from people spirit believing in it, right? So now an evil spirit that say on a scale of 1 to 10 might have been a 4, if they take over that belief or they take over that creature that everyone believes in, now it's just doubled its spirit, right? It's doubled its power. So now instead of a 4, it's an 8, right? Once it gets used to being that, it becomes that, and now it's a 9 or 10 or 11 or 12, right? It just keeps getting stronger and stronger because the more it does, the more fear it causes, the more that people believe in it, the stronger and stronger it becomes, And that's like people say, I was asked years ago to go and close a couple portals in I'm not saying where it is, I'll just tell you what it is, in a country western bar. All right. And I laughed. I says, what the hell? Are you on crack? There's no possible way. I don't give a shit who you are. You're never closing that portal, right? And they said, well, why not? I says, because you've got 15 million people believing it's the portal to hell. How the hell are you going to close that?
Exactly.
You got 15 million people keeping it open, right? It's impossible to close. There's no way you can close it, right? Because of all the belief and all the and it's 100% belief. It's real belief, right? You can't deal with that. You can't close that. That's there forever, So there's a lot of portals. If the more famous they are, the more impossible it is to close, right? Because everybody knows it's there and everybody believes it's there. So how do you close it, right? You can't. And that's the same with a lot of these cryptids. A lot of different cryptids. so many people believe in them, they'll never disappear. You know, like the Thin Man, he started basically in 2006. Okay, basically in 2006 is the first recorded sighting, basically around that time of the Thin Man, right? Since then, 33 million people have viewed it or watched it or whatever, believe in it. Do you think that's ever going to disappear now? No, 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 no.
Oh.
Any dark spirit that wants to take over an area, and the proof of it, in my opinion, is in Wyoming in the forest, the Thin Man is there, right? Okay, that's cool. In the forest in BC, near Hope, BC, the Thin Man lives there. Oh, I see. Well, wait a minute. In Prince Edward Island, the Thin Man lives there. But so wherever there's a forest, that's where they say the Thin Man lives, is around forest areas, right? Now, do we believe it's one Thin Man traveling to all these different destinations? Or could it be that evil spirits take the form of Thin Man because it's already got power and they take it for themselves? They just take it, right? They don't ask for it, they take it. And they become the Thin Man in that area, so they got all that power, right? Like, if say you're being a good person and you want to build a reputation, so you go to an area and you start working on your reputation, and slowly you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 20 followers, 40 followers, right? But if your father was there before you and your family's reputation was so high, the first day you go there, you got 500 followers, right? So in a case where there's something like a Thin Man, where there's 100,000 followers, if you're a bad spirit, are you going to be there to get one person scared of you at a time? Or are you going to say, okay, all these people are scared of this, so I'm going to become this, and I'm going to keep adding to it?
No.
Right? And I think in a lot of different cases, that's what happens. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, because when I saw the Goat Man, there was in Texas, there was this one strip, long strip, and it was said if you drive down that strip late at night, which was a common strip, but it was kind of an offbeat, that the Goat Man, they had another name for it, a Mexican name. I can't think of what it is right now. That you'll see them. So we were driving down that, not even thinking about it. We were driving down. No, Chupacabra's a different thing. But we were driving down, and well, some people might. We were driving down, and all of a sudden we start hearing banging on the windows, and look over, and it's the Goat Man running alongside the car, beating on the car as it's running. And if you pick up your speed, it's going to pick up too. And the whole time you're on that strip, it's beating on the car or the window, wanting you to stop. But of course, you're not going to stop. You're going to keep going. But it was always said that he's there in that strip. So, like I say, I went down the strip, not going and looking for him. It was a way I had to go. And sure enough, you know, that happened.
And of course it's going to happen because that legend's there, right? The legend is there, and everybody knows legend. Even if you're not thinking about the legend, right? The legend's still there, and once it starts happening, you're going to think about the legend, obviously, right? Well, at any rate, why wouldn't a dark spirit who necessarily before wasn't a Goat Man, before he could have been a Duck Man, I don't know. But the Goat Man, the Goat Man's got the power, right? So why wouldn't an evil spirit just move into that house, right? Like for us, you know, we think about if you think about the Goat Man in that instance, right? The legend's there, people have seen it, it's always been so. It's like an apartment for us. Like we might move into a new apartment, right? Well, for spirits, why wouldn't they move into a new body of energy? Right?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
like, if you're a spirit, you're energy. So why wouldn't you move into another body of energy if that body of energy is going to be stronger?
Yeah. Jumping body, 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 body. Jumping,
Right.
jumping,
Do we
jumping.
know what the
And
Goatman's intent?
what's that? What's
Do we know
that?
what he actually wants? Has anybody actually figured that out? What the Goatman actually wants? What's his mission? If he's a real that is. Does anybody ever know? Has anybody figured that out yet?
Well, it
What is
depends.
really after? Is it
There
just to
are
save
like
people?
there's hundreds of variations to every story. One of the common ones are a slave was executed and his wife and family were all executed, and he wants revenge against the people that betrayed him and his family. There's other stories where
Right.
a person was a sheriff in a town, and the town turned against him because they didn't like the fact that he was trying to enforce the law. So they killed him, killed his family. So now he's back seeking justice against anyone that goes against the law. So like there's so many different variations to the Goat Man or to any of these other ones, right? Which is why I say there's not one, there's hundreds, right?
Yeah.
Because there's all these different variations of it.
Do you see him as the same as Pan, like in the mythical creatures? Pan, I probably.
No, I think Pan is a force of himself. You know, there are certain deities. Pan's more of a deity than he is a spirit, right? There are certain ones that no one's going to try to imitate. You know what I mean? Like you're going to get people imitating. You'll get demons and you'll get other nasty spirits imitating the goat that represents Satan, right? But you're not going to get any demons or any other evil spirits imitating the devil himself, right? Like how the devil really looks. Because the devil's actually a pretty good looking dude, right? So no one's going to imitate the devil because two reasons. Number one, it wouldn't be scary because most people would go, oh, well, that's a nice looking spirit, right? Which it ain't. But on the other part, why would you want to piss off the devil by trying to pretend to be him, right? Like, I think that would probably be that'd be probably a very quick way to end your existence to pretend to be something that powerful, right?
Yeah, because I think
don't think
Pan's
you'd
a
even get
mythical
that far.
creature.
You know, there's different things. I think there are certain cryptids. There are certain levels of angels, demons, good people, bad people. There are certain ones that no one's going to imitate for fear of retribution from the actual one, right? So there are certain ones I don't think you'll ever see an imitation. But there's a lot of common ones where they're spotted everywhere around the world, right? So there's not just one. There's hundreds of them. It's because there's not one great big powerful one, and if there is, nobody knows who he is. You know what I mean? So nothing's going to imitate that one because that one would destroy you if you did. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Phoenix has a question for you before you go to the next step. It says, Uncle Danny, what are your thoughts about the Hat Man since she says, I've seen him and he's attacked me before, and also my niece. I had to help her to get him to leave her alone.
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure on the Hat Man. I know the Hat Man's real, but I'm not sure how many there are, right?
Yeah.
Because basically, in my opinion, and this is again my opinion, the Hat Man is actually a shadow man, but not a shadow person, right? It's an actual shadow man or a shadow being, right? And the form that some of them particularly like to wear is the red hat or the black hat with the red eyes or whatever. That's a class 4 demon, okay? And anyone can look like that. That's like a uniform kind of a thing, okay? So the Hat Man, is the Hat Man real? Yeah, he is. As far as I'm concerned, is the Hat Man a demon? Definitely. You know, it's not a nasty spirit; it's a demon of sorts, right?
Yeah, I've seen the Hat Man. I got a picture of him.
Yeah. So, like, to me, the Hat Man's a real deal, right? But the Hat Man isn't a singular person. The Hat Man is a species of shadow men.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Like, they're not fake. They're
Oh,
not
that would
faking
make
to
sense
be.
then, wouldn't it?
Yeah. They're not faking to be a Hat Man. They are a Hat Man. They are a shadow demon. Okay,
Mhm.
and that's basically what they are. They're shadow demons. But it's a species of them, right? Because you got basically, okay. For instance, you got the
Right.
Hat Man, right? But then you got the capers, right? The ones that wear the long capes with the big fins on the back.
Right.
And then you got the shrouds, or the ones that wear a shroud, that like a monk. Those are all types of shadow
Right.
demons. Like, they're basically different species, and each of them have different traits. You know, like, for instance, the Hat Man can attack you in your dreams and actually cause you physical and spiritual damage while you're sleeping. Right? Okay, that's that. But the
Because
Shroud Man,
when he was annoying Golden Bonkers, there was a rumor that he had manifested a knife. A lot of the time, people were just seeing him as a man, and then there was
yeah,
people saying that he was getting stronger because they had actually been
yeah,
stabbed by him and things, that he was manifesting a knife now.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But that's because of the belief, right? That's because of the fear. The more fear the more fear an evil spirit generates, the more powerful it gets. It feeds on that, right?
Getting
So,
stronger.
you know, they like, it's just like you and me. The more we learn and the more we do, the better we get at it. Even if it's working on an assembly line, right? Let's say we're working on an assembly line and we're taking out rotten tomatoes, right? We're doing it one at a time. 5 or 6 get by us. That's why there's 12 people in
That,
the lineup, right? But after you do it for a few months, you're pulling off 6 or
yeah,
7 bad tomatoes, right? Because you get better
Yep.
at it, right? The more you do something,
Sure.
the more you learn about something, the stronger you get, right? That's the same thing with any spirit. You know, the older the spirit is, the more powerful it's going to be. Period. The more it learns, the more it does, the more it exists, the stronger and stronger it gets, to the point where, I mean, it can grab you by the leg, drag you across your floor, whip you down the basement, and pound on you for half an hour before you can do anything, right?
Yep.
And I've seen lots of
exactly.
cases where I've worked on lots of cases where they got a real strong spirit and not a demon. Gee, these are human spirits, okay? But I've worked on a few cases where and most of them are in the farms or stuff like that. Not so many in the city, but rural areas and stuff like that, and farmlands, things like that. Lots of times there's a farmer. People see a farmer with coveralls. He's got a straw hat and a pitchfork. And if you rent out the farmhouse or you're living in the farmhouse, you'll be in bed. The covers come off your bed. You get claw marks on your legs. It yanks you on the floor, down the hallway, and throws you down the stairs, right? Well, guess what? They've been doing it forever, right?
Uh-huh.
So that spirit is an actual spirit of a human being who at one time or another lived on that farm. It was probably the original owner, right? Or owned the property or something,
Yeah.
right? But the longer it's a spirit, and if it's got nasty intentions, the stronger and stronger it's going to get, to the point where it does throw you out of the bed, or toss you down the hall, or throw you into a wall. They can do that. The more they learn, the stronger they get,
Uh-huh.
But like I say, all I said was a farmer with coveralls, a straw hat, and a pitchfork,
Puts the power
right?
into these things.
But here's the thing: how many people out there? I can't see the chat, so you're gonna have to tell me. Put a number 1 in the chat if you've heard of the farmer with coveralls and a pitchfork and a straw hat causing havoc. If you've heard of that, put a number 1.
If anything comes up, I'll put it up there.
JJ has, which is Jan. Jan has said one. There is only 5 people in though, so that's actually quite that is actually quite good for just having 5 people in there. One has already
Okay.
seen that. It just shows you the scale of these things that people are seeing them.
Yep.
See, and that's the thing. People recognize, people can recognize bad spirits if you describe them, right? And again, the fact that one person recognizes what I'm talking about or recognizes that spirit tells you that that spirit already has enough power that people recognize it. You see what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's how they get stronger, because the recognition of their existence makes them stronger. You know, it's a simple recognition thing, right? The more that they're recognized, the stronger they get, right? So, anyway, that's basically how they work, in my opinion.
So I dare say that that's not the worst. That'll not be the worst spirit that's out there, though. I mean, one of the worst spirits, one of the worst spirits, or worst entities, I should say, is more the ones that they just don't like humans whatsoever. They've no time for us. The minute that type of spirit, if you run into Uncle Danny, that just does not.
The worst spirit to deal with is a twisted human, by far. They're just
bad.
They're just nasty. I mean, period.
They were bad in real life and bad now.
Yeah. And the thing with them is they've tarnished their soul so bad that the devil don't even want them. Okay, they're basically separate because they're at a point where they've done something like killed their own family and killed their own mother and father and brothers and sisters and stuff like that. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them.
It's like Chris Watts in America.
They've tarnished themselves so bad.
Chris Watts in America, his wife, these 2 kids.
Yeah, it's the old Cain and Abel story, right? It's the old Cain and Abel story, right? One is so bad that nobody wants to deal with it, right? Well, that's basically what a twisted human is. It's basically something that's so dark that nobody wants to deal with it. And a lot of demons don't want anything to do with a twisted human because they don't take orders, right? They have a mind of their own. They do what they want. They have, so they don't follow instruction. Which is why they don't team up.
Exactly.
They don't team up because they're not going to listen to instructions and they're not going to take orders from nobody. So, for those 2 reasons alone, they're pretty hard to deal with.
JJ has on here. She said, "I've been asked to go to a farm to investigate the farmer. He also been seen in their home."
Yeah.
John.
Okay. If you're gonna go there, here's just a little thing that I do, and you might want to think about this. If you're gonna go do an investigation with any farmer, okay, and if it's told that there's an old farmer who might be nasty, don't go there without seeds. Bring some lettuce seeds, tomato seeds, crops that you would plant. Peas, corn. Bring 4 or 5 packages of seeds with you. And when you come on the property, say, "I'm here to investigate. I want to find out what's going on. I want to talk to you. I don't want to harm you. I don't want to be harmed. I brought you these seeds as an offering to give you some respect. And I want the same in return. I want to be respected as an investigator." And then put the seeds down, right? It just gives you a little bit of protection against if you walk on there. Okay, he's there to protect his land. He's there to protect his home. He's there to make things better, whatever he considers better, right? Doesn't give a shit what you think is better, right?
Yeah, he considers it his home still.
Right. So if you go to his house, if you show up at his house with nothing to offer him and demand or ask or want him to talk to you and interact with you, he's going to do it, but it's going to be on his terms, period. But if you go there with respect and say, "Here's some seeds for your crops or whatever, do with them as you please," I'm just here for an investigation. I'm not here to cause you trouble or for you to cause me trouble. I just need answers, right?
Mhm.
Your investigation, you'll probably get more evidence because you've shown respect, but there's a 50% chance you're going to be a lot safer too. So
Yeah, because even and this is
Exactly, that's the most part.
this is kind of off of this, but at the same time, it's how they are. Because when I worked at the men's death row prison, you got
Mhm.
murderers in there. You've got stuff that I probably don't need to say here on YouTube. The things that they did. But
Right.
if you go in acting like, because we were called we were the officers in there called bosses. If we went in acting like we were the boss of them, I guarantee you're not going to make it the whole
No.
rest of the day in there. But if you go in, even though they're like that, and you give them the respect, you follow the rules, you follow the guidelines, and you give them the respect, I guarantee you they're going to tell you whatever it is that you need to know, and they're not going to try to, before the day's over, because
Yep.
you gave them the
Right.
respect, they're going to give it back to you. And it's the same thing in a spiritual world.
Exactly. Exactly. Like the spirit might be the spirit might be nasty, right? Might be one of the nasty spirits, but you show them respect and say, "This is why I'm here," and you be upfront with them. I want to get evidence. I want to get proof. I don't want to be harmed. I'm not here to harm you. Here's some seeds out of respect for your crops. That's going to show a great deal of character on your part, and they're going to like that. So
Yeah, because they'll deal with buttholes all day long, and they'll show what they can do and show the power of themselves. But why do all of that when they get somebody in that's going to treat them fair and talk to them and work with them? Then they will also work back with you. JJ put on here, thank you, Danny. I will do that, and I don't want to make him mad. I just want to know what his story is.
yeah, and that's good. That's the best way because you don't want to piss them off. Because what the other thing to remember is, especially with rural spirits, okay.
No,
This
it's
is
not the
one
good
thing
food is possible.
this is one thing I've learned the hard way. Okay, when I'm in my younger years of working, you can go on there and you can show them respect and everything's good. And then when you leave, they're not keen to follow you. Okay, you go on there and you say, "I want to know this, I want to know that," even if you're doing it in a respectable tone. Okay, guess what? You're gonna go home. And because you didn't show proper respect, they're going to follow you home, and then they're going to say to you, "I want to know this, I want to know that," tit for tat, right?
Yeah.
Those rural spirits are like that. They're like, "Oh, you can come to my house and bug me. I'm going to come to your house now and bug you," right?
Right.
So it's better, especially for any small town or rurals or anything like that. City's different. It's not as bad that way. It's bad worse ways, but for following you home, it's the old mills, the old factories, the old farmhouses, little small rural communities, old cemeteries. Those are the places that are going to follow you more than likely, right?
Yeah.
Than a house in a city. Chances of one in a house, they don't, because if they leave the house, another spirit moves in.
Yep.
So
I'm.
a lot of times in a big metropolitan area, say the Eaton's building or something, just because it popped in my head. There might be two spirits that are in there all the time. They're not going to leave that building because if they're not there, another spirit going by says, "Oh, look at that. There's nobody here. I'm going to take over this building." Right? So when that spirit comes back, now it's got to kick out the other spirit again. Right? So there's another fight. So a lot of times in bigger cities and stuff, spirits, a lot of times, like 80% of the time, they won't follow you. 20% of the time they will, right? But 80% of the time they're just going to stay where they are. They're going to stay. It's not that they're stuck there. It's that they don't want the hassle of kicking out the other spirit that moved in while they were out.
Right. Drew says she'll try to get back on. Her computer just shut down. So she says she'll try to get back on. And also, Christina, says vengeful spirits been here for a long time, and they're no fun either.
No, no. Vengeful spirits are nasty too. That's another ball of wax, that is. That's the problem with the vengeful ones is they never get enough of it, right? They don't get enough revenge, or they don't get enough vengeance.
Yeah, they thrive. They thrive on that negativity.
Right. So I mean, they never quit. You know, they're the type that just keep coming back.
Mhm. Yep. So, what are your experiences with? Have you run across any actual like aliens? I took a picture of a house and it had an alien on the side of it, and it was so clear nobody believed that I actually took that picture.
Yeah, no, I've never seen an alien. I've never seen anything that looks like an alien craft or anything like that. Not per se, but probably because I wasn't looking for it, you know?
Yeah.
Probably because I wasn't paying attention to it. Like, I look across a field, I'll see 6 spirits walking across the field. I ain't got time to be looking around for spaceships. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's just,
Well, I have
it's just like for me, it's always been the spirits in the spirit world and the different creatures and stuff that I'm short-sighted when it comes to UFO or ufology, that kind of stuff. It's not that I don't believe or anything like that. It's just that I've never been looking towards that direction because I'm always busy in this direction, right?
Right. Right.
So,
well, I really don't have. I have a picture that I took of the sky that you can actually see the ship. It wasn't a plane or anything like we have here, a ship, but it was behind the clouds, like it was cloaked, but you could clearly see because where it was cloaked, the sky itself was a different color shade than the rest of it that was around it. I got it on the computer somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, I can relate to that. I mean, it's the same with spirits. You'll get the blenders, you know, that try to blend in with the background, or they try to blend into the wall or whatever, but they're still off shaded. So you still see them. You know what I mean? But most people wouldn't notice it. You know what I'm saying? They basically camouflage themselves because they're the type that like to jump out and go boo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So surprise attackers, I call them.
Yeah.
But I mean, and you know, a lot of times I've gone into places or working on different cases where the room is so damn black you can't see your fingers in front of your hand, but yet you can see a full figure standing in front of you because it's even darker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, because it's like a void. It's like a void in the darkness, and plus you'll feel a lot of times that it's there. Christina says different planes of existence is more fun than someone who just comes from a different planet. I feel they're the same as us, even if they look a little different. So I like the paranormal more.
Yeah. Well, I really don't. I never have dealt with the UFO side of things or whatever. Mainly just because I have never had time for one. And with me, as everybody knows, when I get into something, I delve in, right?
Yeah.
So it's just basically I just haven't had the interest or the time to get into it. Now, saying that, you know, I do believe in them. You know, I do believe there's other worlds. I do believe I mean, come on. Billions and billions and billions and billions of planets in this galaxy, and we're the only one, give me a break. Okay? That's not possible. Okay? It's totally impossible. And besides, that'd be a great big waste of real estate. But who's to say whatever happened here hasn't happened 100 million times everywhere else? You know what I mean?
Well, that's just
So,
it. I mean, you know, it's got to be the odds are there, and if we think that human beings are only on this planet, we have a rude awakening because they got to be on other planets because we're star seeds. They're spread out all over the planets.
you know, well, yeah, like I say, there's I cannot. There's no mathematical. You know, everybody says, "Well, prove this and prove that." It's always like prove the paranormal. Bullshit. Disprove it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I ain't got to prove nothing. I've lived it for over 55 years in working. You know,
Yeah.
I don't have to prove anything to nobody. I know what I know. That's it. You know, and people don't believe it. I don't care. That's up to them. Same thing with the UFOs, right? But let's say simple 10 million planets. Now show me the odds that at least one other planet doesn't have life on it that's humanoid per se, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where's your mathematics on that one, right? So you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of saying, well, prove there is, well, why don't you try proving there's not?
Right.
Because there's more chance on a percentage basis of however many planets there are and galaxies and all that crap. There's a hell of a lot more chance that whatever happened here happened somewhere else than there is that nothing happened. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Yep.
that's my take on the whole thing about it. It's like,
Yep.
you know, and really, I think only human beings would be so obnoxious to think that we're the only ones anyway. So, you know.
What about cryptids? Have you seen cryptids? You have any stories
Yes.
to tell us? Go for it.
Yes.
I'm listening.
Yes.
Go for it.
Yes, I've seen lots. There's a lot of cryptids that people talk about, and they call them cryptids. To me, they're not cryptids. They're in-betweens, right? So they fall under the Cryptid Acts. So for me to say that I don't believe in cryptids, I can't because I've seen them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Wendigos. You know, I've dealt with a few of them. Skinwalkers. I've dealt with a few of them. Seen Sasquatch twice in my life. At least I think it was Sasquatch. Can't be 100% sure. 98%, but not 100.
Yeah.
There's all, you know, I'm pretty sure I saw a wolfman of types, but again, I didn't actually see it, but I followed the tracks, right? So there's different things that where cryptids are concerned or in-betweens are concerned, where some of them have actually seen and physically had to deal with them and had to work with, you know, against them and stuff like that. And then there's other ones where I've seen evidence of them, but not actually seen them, you know, per se, right, in the flesh. But I've seen their tracks. I've seen different things that, you know, I can't dismiss. Put it that way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't dismiss anything. One was the werewolf, and I'm good to just call it a werewolf, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's a werewolf or not, it could be Dog Man, it could be the Coyote Man, it could be.
Because they have so many names for the same thing sometimes.
Yeah, and there are different species, you know, but they're basically. But anyway, I'm not saying where it was or anything, but there was basically it was on a farm, and we were following these tracks, and they were human tracks. And then the human tracks disappeared, and we're thinking like, well, what the heck? And they were just like, basically, a bunch of livestock kept disappearing, chickens and pigs and stuff like this on this one farm. That this was a long time ago. So anyway, we're checking it out, but there was tracks, and you could see the guy's boots and everything else, and there was tracks, you know. So we're thinking, well, somebody's trespassing and stealing these chickens for food, right?
Yeah.
That was the first. That's what we thought at first. That maybe it was just a trespasser. We didn't know. Anyway, that's fine and dandy. Then another time, seeing these wolf tracks. and they were huge,
Yeah.
you know, but they were only 2 feet. So this wolf was walking upright, and the feet, I put my foot beside it, and it was the same size as the wolf track, right?
Hmm.
So I'm looking at this wolf print in the snow, and I'm like, damn, that's one big wolf. I mean, his foot is as big as my foot, you know. And it, like, my stride is maybe 2.5 foot stride. Its stride was maybe 5.5 feet, you know, like
Dang.
it's, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that's a long stride.
And again, it disappeared because it only went so far and it disappeared. You know what I mean?
So what do you think
And
happened?
I don't know. I was still going, okay. One day we see boots, next day we see wolf prints, you know. So I'm thinking, okay, this is starting to look like a dog man or something, eh? Like there's just something not quite right. And then another last time, I think it was the last time or second last time, we're walking along and there's these wolf prints, huge, and they were running, right? So we're following these wolf prints. And then there was this like old barn shed, but it was only like a 8-foot high shed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, these wolf prints went, and about 4 or 5 feet from where the shed was, they were gone. Okay? So we looked up, and on top of the roof, where the roof has the peak, right, where it goes up like that,
Yeah.
the wolf prints landed there, right? And they went over the side. So we ran around the shed expecting to follow the wolf prints, thinking it jumped off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking, and guess what? No footprints, no nothing. Nothing on top of the shed. And so we're looking 4 or 5 feet around from the shed. And then I decided, there's got to be tracks. So I turned and I took 4 or 5 steps in the same direction it was going in the first place. And all of a sudden, there's 2 human feet prints. No shoes, nothing. You can see the whole footprint, the toes and everything, side by side in the snow on the ground. And then you seen bare feet running away in the snow.
Oh,
right?
wow.
And it went into a bush line, like there was a bush line, and then I lost track. I couldn't find them after that. So basically, I'm sitting there and I'm watching. There's these huge footprints. They run, jump on top of a shed, and then the wolf jumped off the shed a good 10, 12 feet, landed, but when it landed, it had human footprints. And then those footprints, they're bare feet. No shoes, no nothing, running around in the wintertime outside in the snow. Human feet run into the tree line and disappeared.
Wow.
I you know what I'm saying? I never saw a werewolf. I never saw, well, what the hell is that shit? You know what I mean? Like,
Meg says skinwalker.
You know, like, what the hell is that shit? Yeah, well,
that would be enough to make you think.
You know, it could have been a skinwalker, possibly. I don't think so, though. They're a little bit different. Because skinwalkers leave front and back prints most of the time, right? They don't normally just go on the back. Dogman leaves 2 prints. Werewolves will leave 2 prints. Lupins leave 2 prints.
What's a lupin?
You know?
I've not heard of that.
A lupin is basically an in-between. It's half man, half wolf all the time, 24/7. So it might have a head of a wolf and feet of a human, or one foot would be a wolf print. The other foot will be more human shaped. They're kind of disfigured, you know, but they're basically half wolf and half human. But yeah, I mean, so it could have been any of that family of in-betweens, right? Like there's 6 or 7 different in-betweens it could have been, right? But it sure as hell wasn't human, not full-time anyway, and it sure as hell wasn't a wolf, not full-time, you know, because, you know, you can't follow one set of tracks and then watch it jump on a roof and then it jumps off being human feet and runs into the bush. That's not a full-time thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
wow.
But I never saw what it was. but I did see the tracks, you know.
Hmm. And
So there's that type of thing.
I would be more leery of running into a skinwalker because you don't know what you're coming up against, because it could be one thing and then change to something completely different, and you not know exactly what you're coming up on.
I know. Without expecting them, I wouldn't want to run into any of them. I'm going to be honest with you, because they're all nasty.
Yeah.
Skinwalkers got a really bad rep, and they deserve it. Don't get me wrong. But they're more famous and more believed than any of the other ones, right?
Yeah.
And then people think they got more. What people don't realize with skinwalkers, there's a couple things that aren't common knowledge. Number one, it's an in-between between a human and an animal spirit, whichever animal spirit, right? Whether it's a wolf, a fox, a coyote, could be anything, right? Bird. It's basically a human spirit that's been combined with an animal spirit through witchcraft and ritual, right?
But shamans are a lot responsible for them.
Witches, shamans.
Which is the same thing, yeah. Yeah.
You know, a dark one, yeah, you know. Normally it's a dark one. But basically the intent of it is for revenge. Okay? So let's say a dark human, okay, creates one because it wants revenge against other people. So when they're created, they put the names into the pot, and then they set the pot on fire, right? So let's say this person wants 3 people destroyed, whatever. They'll throw their names into the pot. Those people are going to get attacked and killed, right? Because it's a contract. Understand? But what people don't realize is once that contract's filled, right? The thing that was brought, the thing that was created is now on its own terms. It's fulfilled its contract. The first thing it's going to do is kill the witch or the dark person or whoever brought it, because it's not going to be controlled no more. Trying to control a skinwalker is like trying to put a leash on a great white shark. It's not going to work out for you, okay? You cannot control a demon forever, okay? Once it feels it's done its contract, it's free to do what it wants.
Yeah.
And that's really when they become so dangerous, because now the skinwalker's done its deed. It's killed the person that was controlling it. Now it's got a mind of its own. It can do what it wants.
There's no controlling it.
Now we got a rogue running around. And that's the dangerous part. At that point, anyone pissing that thing off is going to have a very bad day, right? Anyone that tries to give up its location, they're going to die. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to give up its location. You don't want to try to hunt. You don't want to do anything. Just leave them alone, because if you get its attention, it's coming after you, right?
Yeah.
Because it has its own thing now. It does what it wants now, right? And that's what makes them so dangerous.
Yep.
With Dogman, he's basically a reaction type thing. If you do something fast or aggressive towards it, it's going to attack you, right? If you keep your eye on it, back away slowly, and keep your head down, and you can 9 times out of 10 you can get out of there. You know what I mean? So again, each one of them has their own benefits and negatives about them.
Right. Drew says, "Oh my God, guys, my computer is not working. I sent her a message and told her to come back on her phone."
There you go.
So let's see if she can come back on her phone. And also, Living History Mysteries is saying hi to me, and also to you, Danny.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
And hello to the chat. I just made him blue, so if he comments again, he should be blue. So, Living History Mysteries, we're talking about Danny is sharing some of his personal strange and unknown stories of what he's seen or what he has seen and thinks what it might be. So he's sharing all of that with us.
I'm gabbergiling is what I'm doing. Eh?
Hey, Angel. How's it going? Angel Dog Gypsy. So,
Angel.
So, let's see here. I was waiting to see if Drew was going to come back on. Angel, I made you a moderator. Alrighty. So, curious as to what else. I'm going to keep you just yapping and talking until you say, I gotta go. Just spill your guts, whatever you want to tell us pertaining to the unknown. We're all ears.
Well, don't follow me. I get lost too. You know what I mean? I don't. I don't know what to talk about really. It just.
I'm gonna give Drew I'm going to. Let me see here. Copy. I'm gonna see if I can give Drew. Here's the link. Pop in.
There you go.
Let's see. Paste. Yay, I did it.
Yay.
Okay, sis, I'll pop back up. So I sent her the link to pop back in. So, let's see. And Christina says, I rode your bone living history mysteries. I'm going to watch that video JJ recommended that you did today. Yeah, he put a video out earlier on aliens about I don't know if it was a government person or whoever it was that was talking about that. So, Drew says, yay, you did it. Let's see if she pops in.
There you go.
So, let's see here. She said, okay, she'll pop back in. See if she pops back in.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, go ahead and ask.
Anybody got any questions for Danny? Ask away. I'll put them up and then I'll read them because he can't see the chat, so I'll read them to him.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to just think about what to chit chat about when you don't know what you're talking about. So, you know.
Well, anything you want to talk about. Well, looky. Looky, who's back?
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I think my computer needs upgraded. It just cut off, and I thought, okay, here we go again, but it just will not come back on.
Remember, I told you my phone did that earlier. I was talking to my sister, and it just cut off, and then I couldn't even make a phone call off of it anymore.
So I don't know if it's my computer, if it's the Wi-Fi. It can't be the Wi-Fi because I'm on my phone. Oh, never mind. So what were you talking about?
I don't know.
He says he's chit-chatting. I keep telling him, talk about whatever you want to talk to about the strange and unknown.
Yep, talk about anything, guys. That's it.
Oh, honey is in here. He says, Leah's in here. Sweetheart, I will be stopping in 30 minutes to do my break. Love you. Hello to Danny. And Drew, you probably weren't just popped in yet, or he would have said hello to you.
Yeah, hi, Lee. I was able, my friend.
Okay, Living History Ministry said it was the Deputy Director, Department of the Navy, at the House Congressional meeting on increased UFO sightings in the U.S. by military and civilian pilots.
Okay.
So that was on his channel earlier today.
So I keep missing him. I missed Uncle Danny's chat last night as well. I've still got that to watch back. I was sleeping for about 10 o'clock last night. My head was so sore. But I'll watch it back tonight. It'll give me something to watch.
Okay. And Drew Angel Doll Gypsy says, "Hey Drew,"
Hi, Angel.
because I don't think they can see the chat.
All right. I can't see the chat, guys, because I'm on my phone.
Yeah, no, can't see the chat.
No, I'm the same as you, Uncle Daniel. You're on your own, mystical sis. Sorry. Trying to come and help her.
Hey, Danny. Drew Lee says hello.
Yeah.
Danny Angel Doll Gypsy says, "What do you think the Chinese balloon was?"
Oh, interesting.
What do I think the Chinese what?
The Chinese balloon. What do you think?
Did you see there was a balloon over, I think it was Phoenix or somewhere, wasn't it? They had to shoot it down because
it was over Tennessee. It was over Missouri, and then it was moving, and then came over to like Tennessee, and then shot down. I think I don't remember if it was South Carolina or North Carolina.
I have no idea. I never even seen that, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Everybody's saying it's a distraction. They're doing that to distract people for something else that they're not wanting people to figure out. So I wonder what the actual distraction is they're trying to distract from.
Well, that's pretty true. That's pretty true. I had a guy ask me once what I would say if I was offered to have a tour of Area 51, but they wanted to show me the stuff. I said, well, the first thing I'd say, if they're willing to show me that, what the hell is it that they don't want me to see? You know what I mean? So,
exactly.
you know, if they ever got to the point where they decided to let the public know what was going on there, then you can guarantee there's something a hell of a lot more going on somewhere else, right? So, that's the way it works.
They say that's why they release all this thing about the vaccines and things and the what you call it, the disease, the COVID and things. It's because they want to distract us with the disclosure and everything that's coming. They want to try and give us diseases to focus on so that we focus on that. So we're no watching our skies, we're no questioning our government and things. It's crazy. I didn't realise just how big the conspiracies were until I started watching.
I don't know. That's above my pay grade.
Me too, Uncle Danny. Me too.
And I don't have any facts, so I don't get involved in that because all you got, no matter what side of the coin you're on, is speculation and rumor, and there's no common ground to actually have a sensible conversation. So I don't even bother with that shit.
Yeah, me too, Uncle Danny. I'm just not intelligent enough, I think, for all that. It was above my head.
That would hurt my brain anyway.
It would hurt too much.
My brain can only take so much shit.
You know? Okay, Danny, you're a special guest, so I can't say what brain.
See, that's it. That's it.
You might not come back to my channel, so I won't say that.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're not going to say it. You know.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't even go there.
No, of course not. Of course not. You know, the fact you just did will do.
I won't say it, but I just did.
I'm not going to say, you know, and then you say it. I'm not pointing any fingers, but Drew, you know, like that one of those things. So that's good. I like that. That was good.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So. I don't know. I think myself, when it comes to the paranormal or it comes to anything like that, I think you have to find out for yourself what you want to believe, what you don't want to believe, what you want to acknowledge or not, right?
Exactly.
It is such a diverse. It's such a diverse thing, you know. It's so diverse, you know. You get a lot of people that say there's no human spirits. You get a lot of people that say all spirits are evil. You get a lot of people that say
keep talking,
some are
Danny.
good, some are bad.
Keep talking.
and
I gotta let the dog out. Keep talking.
Okay,
and
Mr.
I
Joe.
think everybody has to make their own decision what they want to believe,
Mhm.
and it's not up to me or up to anyone else to tell people, what they
Yeah,
want to believe, what they don't want to believe. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I
Because
think
every area is definitely different for beliefs. Because my beliefs here in Scotland may not be the same as somebody over in Africa and things, and you wouldn't
right,
expect it to be the same, you know?
right, and I think as long as we respect that and respect each other's, and then we can work on the common grounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
We'd probably get a lot further if we
Mhm.
just accept the fact that everybody's built different and everybody can conceive or not conceive certain things. There's
Uh-huh.
things that I can conceive, things that I can believe, things that make sense to me, and mainly because I've worked with it for so long.
Sure.
So what I believe in and what I see and stuff like that might be totally different to other people, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
That
Mhm.
doesn't make me right, right? It
It's like
doesn't
when
make me
I
right.
first got, remember with one of the first conversations that we had, I think it was Chris's channel when it was the Lost Scotsman 0000. I remember one of your first conversations and it was you and Brother Joe sitting telling us about all the demon attacks and things that he's had. And I think it was the Wendigo. The
Mhm.
Wendigo story you told us, and I remember it was the first time I had ever heard somebody actually tell me this. I'd seen it on TV and different YouTube and things, people telling these stories, but to actually speak to somebody like yourself that very first time, I was in awe. I was like, oh, tell me more. And then now 2, 3 years down the line, it's amazing just how much I can take all your stories in my stride now. So it shows you that everybody's experiences also grow. It's different, and you also grow to these and
Yeah,
grow into these experiences, if you like. You know,
exactly.
a better
Uh,
understanding of them.
I remember one time I was out in the middle of nowhere in the woods, and it really got dark, and you couldn't see the trail, and everything got really black, and there was a lot of spirits running around, and you
Right.
could tell that a lot of them were not good. They just it was that vibe that was just horrible.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, there was this old tree, great big tree there, and the roots it had grown so much that half the roots were out of the ground, and the
Right.
roots went into the ground, right?
Uh-huh.
So I went over to the tree and I put my hand on one hand on either of the roots, and I says, "Listen, I need to find a safe place,
Uh-huh.
because there's too much going on right at this minute, and you know, I can't seem to find any place that I can be secure at the minute, to
Sure.
wait out the storm." Okay,
Uh-huh.
which was of all these. It was weird. It was like this big black cloud came
Right.
rolling in, right?
Uh-huh.
And it was loud. It was noisy, and it sounded like thunder, but it also sounded like a bunch of voices chit chatting, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it was just huge. It was just this really huge black cloud, and but there was the only thing was there was a hunter's moon, so it
Right.
was bright. It was the full moon, hunter's moon,
Would have been a
and there was a
December.
little river. There was a little river where the moon reflected off, so there was that much light. But other than that,
Right.
it was pitch black. Eh? So anyway, talking to this tree, and I says, I need to find a place till this mass of whatever it is blows over, because I knew it was a bunch of bad spirits, just the
Uh-huh.
way it was acting. Eh? And the weird thing about this cloud is it kept changing direction, like it'd be coming straight towards me, then it would burn off to the one side, and then it'd go back to the far side, then it'd come back to the middle, and then come forward again, and it was like it was searching for something,
Right.
right? So anyway, I put my hand on this tree, and saying I need to find a place to hide, right? To go. Well, as I'm sitting there, this other tree, there was two pine trees that were 5, 6 feet away from it. They snapped and they landed on this big tree that I had my hands on, and it was
Right.
like it just built a lean-to. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I was like, oh, gee, thanks, right? So I climbed into between where all these branches were and everything else. I just got in between there. I guess it was 30 seconds before, and all the dust and these leaves and everything else started swirling all around, and I'm inside this lean-tos that brother Wood made for me.
Uh-huh.
So I'm inside this little lean-to, and I'm looking outside, and you could see all these dried leaves and dust and everything just swirling like little tornadoes all on the ground, all around me, right? And it was loud, like, oh my God, it was loud. Anyway, a few minutes later, it just kept going straight, right? And after about 5 minutes, I looked out, came out from there, and I looked out, couldn't see nothing, no cloud, no nothing, and it got lighter outside. Now it's 3 o'clock in the morning, right?
Wow.
Where
Mhm.
it should be the darkest, right? But I come out up there, and I could see where the river was. I could see the little trail down to the creek. I could see, a few things, and this huge black cloud was gone, right?
Right.
So I reached in my pack and I got out some food and stuff, and I cut it up for Mother Nature and for the elements, put them all out, and then I said, well, I'm just gonna lean against this tree and have a 5 minute rest, right? The next thing I know, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. You hear all these birds chirping. The sun is all bright and shiny, and
Wow.
I just like bam, I was out like a light. And when I woke up, I never felt better. I felt all energetic. I felt, really good, right? So, and that's always been part of my beliefs that the elementals and the elements, the Mother Earth and the trees and water and all these things will take care of you
Mhm.
and get you through all these type things if you show respect and belief.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so after that, uh, I cleared the tree away and everything else, and it was fine. And I ended up getting to where I had to go. And when I got there, I just got there, and there was like 14 people there. And I said, "What are you guys doing?" They said, "Oh, we're just going to come out and look for you." And I said, "Oh no," I said, "We're good."
Oh,
So,
right.
uh, and I asked them, I said, "You guys see that storm last night?" And they all went, "What storm?" It was a clear. They all said it was
Ah.
clear, right? It was a clear night. I said, "What?" They said it was a clear night. It
Not
only
in the
took me,
forest, it wasn't.
yeah, it only took me about 45 minutes to an hour and a half at the very most to walk from where I was to where they were, right? So they're no more than 2 hours away from where I was at the very most, right? And they had a beautiful calm night. So there you go.
It was
Great.
definitely something trying to swallow you up then into that darkness. That's how people
Yeah.
disappear.
Well, the funny part is I was there because there was a native burial ground. That's why I was there, because the next day I was going to a native burial ground to do the land blessing, right?
Right.
So I think the darker spirits didn't want the land blessed, and I think
Oh,
they were looking
Oh.
at me to stop me, right? Like I think they were trying to stop the blessing.
right.
That's
They
what I think
accomplished
it was.
that. They did accomplish
Like,
it then, didn't they?
yeah. But I went there and everything
That.
turned out good. Yeah, everything turned out great. The land blessing was wonderful. The people, celebrated after, and I mean, it was a really nice day.
Ah,
But that night, yeah, I think if I was out in the open, there would have been hell to pay. I think I would have been in some serious
And
crap.
if you hadn't found that tree, if you hadn't found
Yeah,
that spiritual tree,
Yeah.
and that it would have been all over. And I
yeah.
do
I
believe
think,
that's how people
yeah,
disappear.
it would have been over Red Rover. That would have been it. I would have been done
Yep.
for.
Yeah.
But
And then,
yeah, so
and then you know what would happen? They would have came, tried to look around for you, and probably found you lying there as if you had just like fell asleep or something, and not knowing that you had been in the middle of a full storm.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
crazy.
So I mean, I think that's the point. If you respect what you believe in, you know, and you honor your belief system and you honor things, they're going to take care of you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You earn
They're
it,
all,
don't you? You kind of
yeah,
earn that
you
type of
kind
protection.
yeah, you kind of earn it. You kind of, you know, by there's an old saying: if you stick up for me, I'll stick up for you, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's all about belief. That's all about what you believe, and if you stand by your beliefs, they're going to stand by you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
I came in late at the beginning of this. Have you while you were out like doing anything like out in the woods and stuff? Have you experienced any like fays and fairies or trolls or
Oh
anything
yeah.
like that?
Yeah, I've experienced all kinds of stuff like that.
Okay, we're waiting.
We're all ears.
Actually, I've seen a few sprites. You know, we call them sprites. They've been called fairies. They're called all kinds of tipsy, whatever. We call them sprites. I've seen them skating on the water. I've seen them in trees, lights in the trees. You know, like going all over the place. And I've seen some darker things too, like, you know, that we won't discuss today. We'll save that for another day. But there's a lot of things that. But again, see, a lot of it comes down to your belief system, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe, you're never going to see. If you do believe, you will see. You know, that's just the way it is.
And if you see them, the best thing to do is not to let them even know you see them. Don't make a big issue about it, and it won't scare them off.
No, on one of my cinemas, me and Bra were actually filming them. We're at the creek and we're watching them, and you could see them. The creek was rough except for this one little spot, you know, and you could see these little figure eights and all this other, like if someone was skating, right?
Yeah.
And you could see the water pushing around. It was really cool. We sat there laughing and
oh wow,
shaking our heads and looking at each other, going, "Do you see that? Yeah, I see it." You know.
Special.
Now, how much of it actually showed up on the cinema, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure the lines of where they were moving showed up. A few people commented that they did see the sprites. So, but I don't remember which cinema that was.
Right. Oh, cool. Hey, Drew, Living History Mysteries. Drew 1 says to Drew 2, did you get my email yesterday? Christina in Australia needs my address, so I asked you for her email.
All right, I'll definitely send you it, brother. Okay, I'll get it and I'll send you it tonight. I forgot that she did ask me to do that. Both of you asked me. I do apologise. I'll definitely get it sent over to you, Drew 1.
Okay, now Christina says, my sister believes in the fairies. She lost something in the woods at night and was upset. Something brought it back to her and put it in her shoe while she was asleep. So she left berries and nuts.
Oh, that's nice.
There you go.
Wow. There you go.
That's right. Show respect to everything.
So they knew she was upset at losing it, and because she's probably a respectful person, they've gave it back to her.
That's why, yeah.
Stories, isn't it?
It's like they know when you, they know when you have a good heart.
Yeah.
I do believe that. I do believe spirits and things know the minute you go out your door that you're coming to see them, and they know if you're a good person or no. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna get off of here because I'm on my phone internet and I don't have much on my phone.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Well, everybody, if you haven't already subscribed to all of Danny's channels, subscribe to all his channels, subscribe to all of Drew's channels, and subscribe to all my channels. My channels are all in there. So everybody subscribe to everybody's channels. We thank you.
Family.
Yeah, we thank you very much, Danny, for coming in. Appreciate you. We'll have to do this again. Drew, thank you as always for being my co-host. We're sorry that October couldn't make it in, but she'll probably be here on the, on our next one. So we'll go ahead and end the broadcast here, and thank you, everybody.
Bye,
for coming
everybody.
in.
Thank you. See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, you two. Bye-bye.
Bye, Uncle Danny. Love you.